Las Vegas 51's baseball is on Fox Sports Radio 1460. 51's baseball is brought to you by Carl Sr., Budweiser, Golden Nugget, Cox Communications, Anderson Dairy, and Pepsi. Now to the stadium with the voice of the 51's, Russ Langer.
This time from Salt Lake City, Utah, the Las Vegas 51's back on the air. Pacific Coast League Baseball. The Las Vegas 51's, the top farm club of the LA Dodgers, are in Salt Lake to take on the Salt Lake Bees. They are the top farm club of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and both clubs are off to good starts. Both teams occupy first place in their respective divisions entering tonight's play, and the Salt Lake team was a winner over the Las Vegas 51's last night by a score of 7-4 in Game 1 of the series, and Game 1 of the road trip. 51's are playing tonight, tomorrow, and also Thursday to wrap things up here in Salt Lake. Then they go over to Colorado Springs to play 4 before they come back home again. Las Vegas is now 16-9 after dropping the game yesterday. These are two very good ball clubs. Salt Lake very close. They're 15-9. 51's have a 3-game lead over the surging Tucson Sidewinders in the Pacific South. Salt Lake holds a half-a-game advantage over Tacoma in the Pacific Northern Division. 51's have won 6 of the last 10 ball games, while the Tucson Sidewinders have won 4 in a row and 9 of 10. That's the closest pursuer in the PCL South. But tonight it's Las Vegas versus Salt Lake. Ball game last night, a lot of strange offbeat type of stuff. Pitching coach Ken Howell was ejected for arguing with the third base umpire when Chris Truby was called for interfering with a base runner. It was a really interesting call, and the umpire had some interesting things to say to the 51's regarding that call, and the 51's wound up dropping the ball game. They also hit into a triple play, and it was Chris Truby who hit into the triple play, and so a lot of things you don't normally see happening in last night's game. But the 51's, who have now still won 3 of 5 overall against this Salt Lake club, a good club, will go against them tonight with lefty Eric Stoltz, who is 2-1 with a 3.43 ERA, and Stoltz will be opposed by left-hander Joe Saunders, and Saunders comes in with a record of 2-1, an ERA of 3.99 on the year. So for the Las Vegas 51's, this is Game 2 of the series, and one of the reasons that the 51's are off to such a good start is the fact that shortstop Wilson Valdez has not only played superb defense with soft hands, a tremendous ability to turn the double play, and a strong, accurate throwing arm, but he also has performed extremely well on offense. 51's really figured that whatever they got from Wilson Valdez in terms of offense from the shortstop position would be a bonus. They got him for his defense. That's one reason why Jerry Royster liked him and recommended the Dodgers go after him. But the fact of the matter is that Valdez, on top of his outstanding defense, is hitting .310 with 2 homers and 10 RBIs. We're going to talk to Wilson Valdez, who has big league time with the White Sox and the Seattle Mariners. He's our guest right after this word.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm the guy who supplies Team Dew drivers Jeremy Mayfield and Casey Kane with great tasting ice-cold Mountain Dew after a long race. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret that only us seasoned professionals know about. I also give them a Dew to chug before every race, too. There's nothing like a Dew to get them refreshed and ready to go. So when we say they're fueled by Dew, we mean it. Last year alone, Casey tore up so much track he was named Rebecca's Rookie of the Year. Jeremy drove all the way to a top 10 finish. These guys are serious about racing, just like I'm serious about getting them that Dew. Product delivery is a high-speed process, so quick decision-making is imperative. If you turn left when you're supposed to be turning right, you could lose a fanny pack. When people ask me how I knew the product guy was a role for me, I always tell them about the first time I handed a Mountain Dew to one of my friends. Hey, Will, he said, can you hand me that Dew over there on that table? I sure can, I said, and the rest, as they say, is history. If I could give you an ice-cold Dew, I'd do that too, listener. Get fueled by Dew.
There was a time when kids played in the park on the way home from school, when folks held hands on evening strolls, and neighbors often became your very best friends. Once there was a time, now there is a place. Providence Master Planned Community. From the old-fashioned ballparks to lively paseos and bustling neighborhoods, this is where great traditions live again. Providence. North I-215 at Lullaby. Learn more at ProvidenceLV.com. An equal housing opportunity.
He got sideswiped by a big truck.
David and Ivy Chargaloff liked the fast claim service they received with American Family Auto Insurance.
Having transportation is important.
It made our life very convenient that American Family took care of everything with such speed.
Call today for a free, no-obligation auto insurance quote. American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof.
American Family Insurance.
See the Yellow Pages for the American Family agent nearest you and call today or visit us at amfam.com.
Russ Langer back here in Salt Lake before this evening's second game of the series between the Las Vegas 51s and the Salt Lake Bees, visiting with Wilson Valdez, Las Vegas shortstop. Wilson, first of all, talk to us about what are some of the things that led to you becoming a member of the Dodger organization.
I mean, they needed like shortstop, and they got me from Kansas City, and they told me I'm be like play second base shortstop, but I mean it's like things happen, and they have me in shortstop, and I'm trying to do the best I can.
Okay, are you more comfortable in one position or the other? Does not matter to you?
That's what matters to me, because I'll be ready for play any base, and they have me shortstop, I'm played.
Jerry Royster, the manager of the team, has said that he had his eye on you for a long time because he really respected your ability, especially defensively. How much does that mean to you to get that kind of respect from your manager?
I mean, it's like you like have to like emotion, go and play hard all the time. Don't let it like your teammates when they play like they know when to play. They play like a sleepy game. That's not my kind of game. My game is like play like quick and hard all the time, and I think that's the way the roster like my game.
Okay. Talk to us about your career so far. You've had some time in the major leagues with a couple of different teams. Tell us about that.
I mean, this is like hard because it's like you think you find the team they're gonna let you play in the major league, but like things don't happen very good, and I don't think I do well in those things. But I mean, the next time I have the opportunity, I'm gonna do the best I can.
Okay. Now, the defense for you has always been there. What are some of the things that make you a good defensive player?
I mean, it's like watching another player playing. I'm not sitting in the dugout like I'm here. I always watch the game. I watch the players all the time. I'm watching like ESPN. I can learn something from another player. And then that's the thing. I'm like be all the time like alert to learn anything from the other player.
And who are some of the shortstops in the major leagues, either now or in the past, that you look at with a lot of admiration?
No, I mean I'm be watching like everybody. Most Ozzie Smith. I say the scale sometimes. But I mean I only know watch like shortstop like playing. I watch like every player because I don't know what position I gotta be playing in the future, you know what I mean? And I mean I always watch the game. I pay attention to the game and try to learn something new all the time.
It seems like arm strength is one of the strongest parts of your game on defense. Yesterday you made a play out there where you fell down and you're sitting on the ground and threw a fast runner, Eric Ibar, out at first base. Tell us about that play and how that happened.
I mean, I'm trying to be quick because I know I have like fast running and I'm like a sled, but I say I had to throw because we have like a score running and I had to make that play, and I don't even know how I made that play, but I mean, I made it.
And let's talk now about your offense, because that's one thing that has been a real strength for you this year. You're hitting over 300. You've hit a couple of home runs. What are some of the reasons why?
It's like working hard all the time. I told Jurger, go to the cage like every day. It's like working, and sometimes I ask his question, and he told me when I'm like, sometimes I don't hit it like any hits in the game, I go ask him what I do wrong, and he told me, and we're working hard all the time.
What are some of the things that makes this team as good as it is with a good record in first place now?
I mean, it's like when we play together, everything like go through it. Like when we got like the team play together, and like starting pitcher, reliever, and we play hard. That's like the kind of game we have to play all the time. I think that's the play have like also in the first place.
Very good, Wilson. Thanks for the time very much. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Wilson Valdez, our guest on the pregame show, back with the starting lineups. That'll be next from Salt Lake right after this.
When it comes to making their buying decisions, people let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with ads, money-saving coupons, restaurant menus, and vital community info. Founded in 1930, Yellow Book is America's oldest and largest independent Yellow Pages publisher. Look for Yellow Book's easy-to-use directories in major markets like Denver, Las Vegas, Chicago, New York, and more, as well as hundreds of smaller markets throughout the country. You'll even find Yellow Book online at yellowbook.com. Delivering to homes and businesses throughout the area, Yellow Book combines the great features consumers want with advertising rates business owners can afford. In fact, an ad in Yellow Book can cost significantly less than an ad in the phone company directory. Don't miss an opportunity to reach thousands of potential customers. Advertise your business in Yellow Book today. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
It's opening season at the Golden Nugget. Check out our digs and our new Major League lineup. Play ball! Arrive in style at our new Grand Valley entrance and Port Cochere. Then slide into our remodeled luxurious marble lobby. Experience Vic and Anthony, a rookie to the team who's been recognized as one of America's top 10 steakhouses. Step up to the plate for a prime steak and all-star service. Or try Cantonese, Sichuan, and Pan-Asian cuisine in a contemporary setting. Lily's Noodle House will have all your bases covered. With 29 AAA 4-Diamond awards and 60 years of striking success, Golden Nugget's record is unlike any other in Las Vegas. It's a big hit. The 51s know that the Golden Nugget is the place to be for Las Vegas' great American pastime. Golden Nugget Las Vegas. It's a brand new ball game. Visit GoldenNugget.com for a complete roster of renovations.
Welcome back again, my friends, to Salt Lake City before tonight's ball game between the Las Vegas 51s and the home team, the Salt Lake Bees. A gorgeous, gorgeous night for baseball. Bright blue skies, temperatures in the low 70s, a light breeze blowing out to center field right now, and the Wasatch Mountain Range ever majestic with lots and lots of snow piled on top of it, visible beyond the center and left field fences here, and it is just something right out of a postcard. Absolutely beautiful. 51's looking to get even in the series as they send Eric Stoltz to the mound against left-hander Joe Saunders. Two lefties with similar numbers. Stoltz is 2-1. Saunders is 2-1. Stoltz ERA 3.43. Saunders 3.99 on the year. 51's with the starting lineup, which was put together by the fill-in manager, Steve Yeager, normally the team's hitting coach. But with Jerry Royster away in Florida on some family business, Steve Yeager has assembled the following lineup for this evening's contest. Leading off at shortstop, our pregame guest, and we appreciate him taking some time for us tonight. That's Wilson Valdez, leading off at short. Batting second and catching, the fellow who took the night off last night with Edwin Bellarine doing the catching, Russell Martin, batting second and catching for Las Vegas. Hitting third, playing third base, is Willie Ibar. Ibar playing third and hitting third, and still the league's leader in RBIs with 28. And in the cleanup spot is the left fielder Joel Guzman. Batting fifth in right field for Las Vegas will be Delvin Young, who homered in the ninth inning last night. Batting sixth, playing first base, the slick fielding James Loney. In the seventh spot, the Las Vegas designated hitter for tonight, that's Chris Truby. Hitting eighth, the second baseman is Sergio Garcia. And batting ninth in center field for the 51s, he played well yesterday. That is John Weber, the left-handed hitting center fielder, batting ninth for the 51s in this particular contest. On the mound for Las Vegas is the Indiana native Eric Stoltz, and as I said, 2-1 with a 3.43 earned run average entering tonight's play. And for Eric Stoltz, this is his fifth start of the year, and his second start against Salt Lake. His very first start of the year back on April 10th was at Cashman Field against Salt Lake. He had no decision in a game that Las Vegas ultimately won, but Stoltz had no decision, pitched well enough to win, allowing 1 run earned on 4 hits over 5 innings of work. He did not walk anybody, and he struck out 7 and just really did a magnificent job. But the 51s didn't score the bulk of the 8 runs they ultimately got in that game until after Stoltz had departed beyond the 5th inning. Now for the home team, the Salt Lake Bees, top farm club of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, managed by former Major League catcher and outfielder Brian Harper. The Salt Lake team is 15-9, and they are 2-3 against Las Vegas this year. They're in first place in the Pacific Northern Division, half a game up on Tacoma. Leading off for Salt Lake is, well, it's Willie Ibar's brother, Eric Ibar, who's playing shortstop. Batting second in center field will be Reggie Willits. Hitting third and playing right field for Salt Lake tonight, that's Tommy Murphy. In the cleanup position is the designated hitter Kendry Morales, the Cuban defector. Hitting in the fifth spot is left fielder Nick Gorneau. Batting sixth and playing first base for Salt Lake tonight, Mike Napoli. In the seventh position is the second baseman Brian Specht. Hitting eighth and catching for Salt Lake, that's Ryan Buddy. And batting ninth and playing third base, making his first appearance in the series, is Adam Pavkovich. Pavkovich batting ninth at third base for Salt Lake tonight. And on the mound, lefty Joe Saunders. who has put together a 2-1 record over 5 starts with a 3.99 ERA. Saunders is 0-1 and his only start against the Las Vegas 51s this year. And so each pitcher making his second start against the opposing club. It was back on April 11th at Cashman Field. Saunders started and lost the game. The 51s went 4 2/3. He went 4 2/3 against them and surrendered 4 runs earned on 8 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 5. And so he's making his second start against Las Vegas this year. Tomorrow night also a 6:30 start here in Salt Lake, 5:30 Las Vegas time. And tomorrow DJ Holton, who I can see right now sitting in about the 4th row behind home plate, getting ready to chart this game. He will make the start tomorrow against right-hander Casey Oldenburger. And then Jerry Weaver, the highly regarded prospect, will pitch on Friday against Tacoma. Chad Billingsley will pitch tomorrow. DJ Holton will pitch on Thursday. That's how it sets up right now. Billingsley 3-0. He'll face Steven Shell tomorrow. Shell, a righty, has no record. And then Thursday it'll be DJ Holton versus Casey Oldenburger as the series wraps up here from Salt Lake, and the weather's supposed to cooperate all the way through. 51s who made had some big-time changes with the pitching staff yesterday, with both Jonathan Broxton and Joe Beinel, 2 relievers going up to the Dodgers, both of whom, by the way, threw scoreless innings, 1 apiece, in the Dodger loss in Phoenix last night, 3-2 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. They added lefty Hong-Chi Kuo, who pitched an inning yesterday, and also Lance Carter, who chipped in with a scoreless inning yesterday here. But on top of all that, the 51s are 1 position player short tonight because of the injury to Ricky Leday, who hurt his groin while trying to hold up on a check swing playing for the L.A. Dodgers. He's on the disabled list, and the Dodgers called up outfielder Andre Ethier, who was acquired in the Milton Bradley trade in the offseason. Ethier hitting .349 in 25 games, 1 homer, 12 runs batted in, 2 steals in 3 attempts. Ethier, a corner outfielder, can play right and left, can play center in a pinch, but they prefer him in one of the corners. The line drive type of hitter in a kind of a Mark Kotze type of mold, and playing very well here. Also a very good defensive player with a good arm. And Ethier gets that call up, and there has been no word yet, officially or otherwise, about who the 51s might get in terms of a position player from whatever source to take Ethier's spot on the roster. So at least for tonight's ball game, the Las Vegas 51s find themselves 1 player short, as Andre Ethier is now in the big leagues with the L.A. Dodgers. In the PCL yesterday, the Iowa Cubs beat Nashville 7-4, and it was Memphis over New Orleans 9-4. The New Orleans Zephyrs have now lost 9 straight games. Omaha knocked off Albuquerque 8-3. It was Round Rock defeating Oklahoma 7-6. And Portland, in 10 innings, was a 9-6 winner over the Sacramento River Cats, while Tacoma beat Colorado Springs 5-4, and the surging Tucson Sidewinders defeated Fresno 8-3. And so Tucson, which got off to a miserable start, all of a sudden they have turned it around to win 4 in a row and 9 of 10. They're now 13-12 in second place in the Pacific Southern Division, 3 games back of the Las Vegas 51s. We'll step aside for another timeout and come back with more on the pregame show from Salt Lake City right after this.
One company, Advanced Imaging Solutions. One company providing total document imaging solutions from Kia Saramita. One company with experienced local professionals who offer a powerful lineup of fully networkable Kia Saramita office technology. Copying, network printing, document finishing, scan to fax, or email. Kia Saramita document solutions that streamline workflow and help your people work more productively and efficiently. Advanced Imaging Solutions. One company that builds strong, long-lasting customer service relationships based on honesty, integrity, and respect. Total Document Solutions from Kia Saramita and Advanced Imaging Solutions. A partnership that will simply improve your business. To see the full line of digital document solutions from Kia Saramita, call Advanced Imaging Solutions, 951-4AIF. Kia Saramita from Advanced Imaging Solutions, providing total document solutions.
For 60 years, you've included Best Western in your family summer vacation. To say thanks, the Best Western hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada are offering you a limited edition $50 Best Western travel card and up to 20% off your stays with our baseball fan rate. Experience the best summer ever with the Best Western hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Because when you stay any 6 nights with us through August 19th, you'll receive a $50 travel card that you can use toward a future Best Western stay anywhere in the world, including the 338 hotels in California, Hawaii, and Nevada. And you'll save up to 20% off with our baseball fan rate. visit us today at bestwesternbaseball.com or give us a call, 866-743-8738. Remember to book the baseball fan race. Check it out at bestwesternbaseball.com.
Welcome back again, friends, to Salt Lake City, and the national anthem here is in progress. From Salt Lake City, wrapping up right now on a gorgeous night. Shadows have covered up the right side of the infield right now and have extended out about midway deep into right field, but the rest of the field is in very bright sunshine right now. And the starting pitcher, lefty Joe Saunders, a native of Springfield, Virginia, trotting out to the mound right now, and he will take his final warm-up tosses with catcher Ryan Buddy. We'll come back in 60 seconds, meanwhile, with the first pitch of this ball game right after this.
Special auto insurance report for Las Vegas 51 fans.
Special agent, proceed.
When you get your fast free quote from Esurance, you can also view comparisons from other companies.
That way, how much you save at Esurance is no secret.
That's right. And with 24/7 customer service and claims handling, you can get help from people who make auto insurance feel a little less alien to you.
How can someone get their fast free quote from Esurance?
It's definitely not an undisclosed location. All you have to do is visit Esurance.com.
Auto insurance is fast.
I've never seen a lineup quite like this one. The kitchen is loaded. The placemats are set. The bowls are on the table. He sees his granola crunch. He grabs the door. He swings. It's Anderson Dairy Milk all the way. Nothing makes breakfast taste better than milk. Over cereal with eggs, toast, and jam, or add some chocolate and shake things up. Here's our pitch. Milk. It's a real team player. From Anderson Dairy, the dairy expert.
Welcome back again, my friends. We're here, and Joe Saunders has finished his warm-up tosses. He's getting set to take on Wilson Valdez as we begin matters here in Salt Lake for Game 2 of the series. Salt Lake winning yesterday 7-4, and Las Vegas looking to get even here this evening on a perfect night for baseball in Salt Lake City. Wilson Valdez, our pregame guest, gets set to step in now against left-hander Joe Saunders. The Angels and the Dodgers, AAA level. That's what we've got here for this series. And these two organizations are jammed with talent. The Dodgers may be the better balanced of the two, but the Angels have a lot of talent, mostly position players. Dodgers have position players and pitchers. The Angel pitching prospects, there's some good ones, but mostly at the lower levels. There's the first pitch of the game, a fastball low to Wilson Valdez, ball one. 1 ball to no strikes. Valdez hitting .310, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. Right-handed batter facing the left-handed pitching Saunders, who delivers a fastball low. 2 balls and no strikes is the count. But make no mistake, these two ball clubs, these two organizations have a lot of good young talent. Fastballs a strike. It is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Wilson Valdez. Valdez in last night's opener had a double in 4 at-bats, also reached on an error and scored 2 runs, going 1 for 4. And here comes the windup and Saunders' 2-1 pitch. Fastball. That one is taken a little bit below, and it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. For Joe Saunders, today's starting pitcher, he was ranked by Baseball America as the 9th best prospect in the Angels system. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and Valdez takes it a little low, ball 4. So like a good leadoff man should be, Valdez patient and draws the walk, opening things up, and the batter is Russell Martin. Saunders will be 25 next month. He is 6'2", 200 pounds. He's out of Virginia Tech. He was a first-round pick by the Angels out of Virginia Tech back in 2002. And the Angels actually passed up a very talented young left-handed pitcher who's now the #1 starter for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, Scott Kazmir. in order to take this pitcher, Joe Saunders, with the 12th overall pick back in 2002. And they signed him for almost as much money as the Dodgers gave Chad Billingsley. Fastball is a strike at the knees, 0-1 to Russell Martin. 0-1 is the count, and we've got no score. Top of the first, the game just underway. I mean, they gave him $1.825 million. They gave, the Dodgers gave Billingsley just a little bit more than that. So the Angels expect big things from this young man. Russell Martin up hitting .284 with no home runs and 8 runs batted in. It was Edwin Bellarine doing the catching yesterday in Game 1, so Martin gets the call today. Valdez off first base to pitch, and Martin takes a fast strike at the knees, and it's now quickly 0-2 to Russell Martin. After Joe Saunders' first pro summer, which was in 2002, pitching for Provo of the Pioneer League in Cedar Rapids, low Class A of the Midwest League, where he was tremendous, a 3-1 record with an ERA under 1.9. He had an injury problem, which sidelined him for a while. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Martin takes a high fastball, shoulder high, 1-2. He was diagnosed with tears in his rotator cuff and labrum, which did not require surgery, but did cost him the entire 2003 season. But he steadily has climbed the ladder since then. He made his major league debut last August for the Angels. 1-2 pitch, Martin hits a ground ball down the third baseline, foul, and it's grabbed by the sure-handed Steve Yeager, who underhanded it into the crowd, and a fellow who brought his glove gets an early souvenir here. 1-2 to count. Saunders does not have overpowering stuff. He relies instead on command and feel, like most left-handers, finesse pitchers. His best pitch is a very deceptive changeup that he uses to hold right-handers at bay. He just threw one to Russell Martin. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Valdez off first, not a big lead, but Saunders pays him a little visit with a soft toss, and he's back in there. 1-2 is the count. Saunders' fastball about 90 to 91 miles an hour, and he can run it in on hitters very well. He can cut his fastball or add and subtract velocity as needed. There goes Valdez. The pitch is high. Throw to second base. A good throw, and he is out at second base. Very good throw by Ryan Budde. Valdez had a good jump, but Budde's throw was right there, knee high, and second baseman Brian Speck caught it and applied the tag. 1 out, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Russell Martin. So Valdez is caught stealing for the 3rd time this year. He has 2 steals to his credit, so he's now 2 out of 5. Great throw by Budde. 2-2 pitch now. And that changeup is down and away, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Saunders tends to repeat his delivery very well and has not missed a start since coming back from that shoulder injury, which sidelined him all of 03. There's a high foul off to the right by Martin, and that one will settle into the lower level of seats, not far from the Salt Lake bullpen. 3-2 is the count. Saunders does not have what you might call a put-away breaking ball. It's still a work in progress, and they say he needs to improve the depth and quality of that kind of slurvy curveball that he throws, kind of a Frisbee-type breaking ball, to become a number 3 starter, which is what he projects as right now. Fastball fouled off to the right. That'll clear the roof. Still 3-2 on Martin. No score. Top of the first. 1 out, nobody on. Here in the top of the first inning. Saunders, opening this year in AAA, mostly here to work further on that curveball. Here's another 3-2 pitch to Martin, and he takes a called third strike at the knees, a fastball. Every called strike was right around the knees, and Martin took all of them, and so he's out on strikes. First strikeout for Saunders. There are 2 out, and the batter's Willie Ibar. Ibar hitting third. Switch hitting third baseman. He played second base last night and was 1 for 3 with a single and a walk, and was caught stealing third base by Mike Napoli, who was playing first base in this game with Ryan Budde doing the catching. And there's a fast strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Ibar, hitting .366. 6 homers, 28 runs batted in. Ibar, with that average, is 7th in the league in hitting. He sends a fly ball to center field. Willits, shielding his eyes from the sun with his glove, is right there in medium depth center to make the catch, and very quickly Saunders is through the first inning with a little help from his buddy, Ryan Budde, who threw out Wilson Valdez trying to steal. Nothing across for Las Vegas in the top of the first. At the end of half an inning, 51-0, and the Salt Lake Bees against Eric Stoltz coming up.
If music was black and white, what would it sound like? But add a little color to it and... You can hear and see the difference. Now
let's apply this to, say, advertising. Classified advertising. What does your ad sound like? This? Or this? See, adding a little color can make your R.J. Sun classified ad really sing out. For just a little more, we'll add some real color to your ad. You will see and hear the difference. Call 383-0383. Expect more, get more out of your classified ad.
Call 383-0383 to place your R.J. Sun classified ad. 0383.
IntelliBed is proud to be a sponsor of the Las Vegas 51s. With the 21st century breakthrough called IntelliGel, IntelliBed is able to provide a level and quality of sleep that is unlike any other. Mention that you're a 51s fan, and you'll receive $400 in free accessories with any mattress purchase. Visit any one of 3 Las Vegas area IntelliBed stores in Summerlin, Henderson, or Green Valley, or find them online at IntelliBed.com.
Welcome back again, my friends. We're here in Salt Lake City. The Las Vegas 51s taking on the home team, Salt Lake Bees. They changed the name of this franchise several times. Many years ago, it was the Salt Lake Gulls. And for quite a while, when the franchise was in Portland, Oregon, they were the Portland Beavers. The Beavers have a new edition of that same franchise now. But when that franchise, the original Portland franchise, shifted over to Salt Lake in 1994 in this new ballpark. This ballpark was brand new at the time, freshly built. They were the Salt Lake Buzz, and they became the Salt Lake Stingers, and now the Salt Lake Bees under the new ownership headed by Larry Miller. So now, I mean, it covered about every bee theme you can think of, except for, I don't know, maybe wings will be next. But in the meantime, Eric Stoltz, by any other name, is the starting pitcher today. The lefty is 2-1. A 3.43 ERA, went to Bethel College. Big basketball fan, is probably, I guess, a state law in Indiana. He grew up there, and you're going to follow hoops, and Stoltz does follow it very closely and played some in school, but following the baseball path has risen to the AAA level and hoping for that next call at some point. Here's Eric Ibar. He runs up to bunt and takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. Eric Stoltz stands at 6'3", 215 pounds, 26 years old, and facing Eric Ibar. Switch hitting, shortstop batting, right-handed. And he swings and misses at a good changeup. The count is 0-2. Eric Ibar hitting .306. Let's check the Ibarathon. Maybe the Ibar meter. Eric versus Willie. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Eric takes a fastball low. 1-2. His brother's playing third base right now. Well, Eric is considered the more hot prospect. He's a little quicker than Willie is, but Willie appears to have a little more power. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And the fastball's in the dirt ball, too. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eric's hitting .306, where his brother's hitting .366. And has out-homered Eric 6-2. And Willie has more RBIs than anybody in the league. He's got 28. Eric has 19, but he's not really an RBI guy. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Stoltz. And it's a ground ball to second. To his left is Sergio Garcia. He has it, wings it over to first base. And Eric Ibar bounces out 4-3. 1 gone. But Eric Ibar's, he's stolen 7 bases, whereas Willie doesn't have a steal yet. And, of course, that's part of the reason why the Angels like him as much as they do. 1 out in the batter, Reggie Willits. The other part of that middle infield tandem that they started the year with here in Salt Lake, which was so exciting coming out of the starting gate, was Howie Kendrick. We talked about him a lot when the 51s hosted Salt Lake at Cashman Field for the second series of the year. Remember, the series to open up the season was at Cashman Field between Las Vegas and Fresno. 51 swept Fresno, then took 3 out of 4 from Salt Lake before they hit the road. Fastball's low, ball 1. But Howie Kendrick, although he didn't have a great series, you could see why they liked him. Very quick bat speed and hit a lot of balls hard. And now he's up with a big club. They need a little offensive boost. And so Kendrick is their guy. Willits takes a fast strike, and it's 1-1. Reggie Willits, the switch-hitting center fielder, hitting .314, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. And the opener last night, Willits also batted second and had 2 hits and 4 at-bats, scored a run, stole 2 bases, and was caught stealing on 1 occasion as well. He takes another fastball for a strike, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Reggie Willits. Willits is from Fort Cobb, Oklahoma. He was a .304 hitter for the Angels AA team in Arkansas last year, and he stole 40 bases there. He swings and misses at a low off-speed pitch and strikes out, and so Stoltz quickly gets his first strikeout, 2 outs, and the batter is the right fielder Tommy Murphy. Las Vegas defensively, James Loney at first, Sergio Garcia at second, the shortstop Wilson Valdez, our pregame guest, and Willie Ibar at third. Joel Guzman in left, John Weber out in the sun field in center. Over in right field is Delwin Young, who's about the way the shadows are now. Delwin's feet are in shadows. The rest of him is bathed in bright sunshine. And the catcher is Russell Martin. Here's another switch hitter. First 3 hitters in the Salt Lake order all are switch hitters, and Tommy Murphy is the third one. He's in the box now. No score, bottom of the first. Change up, grounded to third base. 2 easy hops for Willie Ibar. He cranks it up, throws over to Loney in plenty of time, and it's a very easy, efficient inning for Eric Stoltz, as Murphy, who came in hitting .345, is out 5-3. 1, 2, 3 go to Bees. At the end of 1, there's no score.
As temperatures rise, so do your chances for car trouble. Help meet the demands of summer driving by taking your General Motors vehicle to an expert, Cadillac of Las Vegas. Let Cadillac of Las Vegas give your car a seasonal checkup to make sure it's ready for virtually anything summer can dish out. Cadillac of Las Vegas is your GM Goodwrench Service Center, featuring GM-certified technicians, advanced diagnostic equipment, and genuine GM parts. So stop by your GM Goodwrench Service Center, Cadillac of Las Vegas, at 2711 East Sahara in Las Vegas, and keep yourself and your car cool this summer.
Nearly 60 years ago, St. Rose Dominican Hospital's mission of compassionate health care for every patient began in Henderson. And this summer, St. Rose will carry this mission to Southwest Las Vegas with the opening of their 3rd location, the San Martin campus. When open, San Martin will be more than a building. It will be a haven for the mind, body, and spirit. It will be more than quality emergency and cardiac care. It will be peace of mind. It will be more than 4 floors of all private patient rooms. It will be a place healing will call home. After all, they're building more than a new hospital. They're building a place for you and your family to find safety, peace, and well-being. The St. Rose Dominican Hospital San Martin campus, 8220 Warm Springs Road, near the intersection of I-215 and Durango Road in southwest Las Vegas. St. Rose Dominican Hospital's new San Martin campus. It's all about life. Visit strhospital's.org to learn more.
Welcome back again, friends. We're here in Salt Lake City. No score after 1 quick inning of play. Top of the second now. Las Vegas to the middle of the order. Joel Guzman, Delwin Young, and then James Loney against lefty Joe Saunders. Telling you about Saunders when he was pitching in the first inning. And again, the Angels, very high expectations of this fellow from Virginia. And Saunders is the only one of only a couple of left-handed pitchers on the 40-man Angel roster. Here's the pitch to Guzman. He swings and misses 0-1. That's part of what I was talking about in the first inning when I was mentioning to you that the Angels are a little top-heavy with regard to position player prospects. Dodgers may have a little more balance overall in the system, but Saunders is one of those really good pitching prospects. Here's the pitch to Guzman. Fastball, a high chopper up the middle. Shortstop Ibar to his left. From the outfield grass, he throws and gets Guzman. There is a major league play by Eric Ibar right there. That second hop was a Lulu, and it took Ibar out a couple of steps on the outfield grass out behind second base. He made a strong throw to get Guzman, who opened the night hitting .323. 1 out, and the batter is Delwin Young. Young 2 for 4 in the opener yesterday, including a ninth-inning home run off reliever Matt Wilhite over the center field fence. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Here's the pitch. He takes a fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. Young hitting .250, 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Facing Joe Saunders, the only other left-handed pitcher on the 40-man roster for the Angels. There's a ground ball to first base, 2 hops for Napoli, who jogs to the bag and steps on it with the right foot, kicked it with the right toe, and they're 2 down. And the batter, James Loney. There was nobody in the Angels system that came up through the minor league system, but it was relief pitcher J.C. Romero, who was picked up in a trade from the Minnesota Twins. So the Angels could need Saunders in a relief role, but we'll see how it goes from a AAA this year. Last year he was at 3 levels. At AA Arkansas, he pitched well as a starter, 7-4 with an ERA at 3.49. Here's Loney, lefty versus lefty, and the fastball is in low, ball 1. Here for Salt Lake, he made 9 starts and was 3-3 with an ERA about a run higher, about 4.5, and made 2 starts for the Angels, had no record, and the ERA was over 7. James Loney hits a ground ball up the middle, and this one is going to sneak through in the center field, a base hit. 51s have their first hit. Loney didn't hit it that hard, but he punched it just to the right of second base. So Loney, who came in hitting .409, is now 10 for 23 since he was sent down by Los Angeles. That 2-out single brings up Chris Truby as it extends the inning for Truby to get a chance right now. Okay, here's Truby batting from the right side. Truby had not the most pleasant series opener last night. A lot of strange things happened to him. Fastball is a swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. Truby starts off hitting .210 with a homer and 9 runs batted in. First of all, for Truby, he was 0 for 4 at the plate. He managed to line into a triple play of all things. Here's the 0-1 pitch to him. And the fastball's fouled back on the ground, 0-2. So that was bizarre enough. It was a line drive to the first baseman, Kendry Morales. Delwyn Young was at second base. John Weber at first, and they were moving on the pitch. And Truby hit a line drive that looked like it was ticketed for the right field corner. An extra base hit that would have driven in 1 and maybe 2 runs. With Weber running from first, he might have scored. There's a breaking ball, and it's called a ball. And Truby might have gotten a break there. The plate umpire flinched like he wanted to call it a strike. It was a good-looking pitch. And instead, it's 1-2. So Morales caught the ball, stepped on first, and he could have had an unassisted triple play because the runner from second, Delwyn Young, really had given up on everything. He knew he was going to be out one way or the other. Truby tried to check his swing in a low pitch, and they appealed no swing, and the count is 2-2. So Young was running from second base on the pitch. When he saw the ball was lined to Morales, he took his helmet off and basically was heading into the dugout to get his glove. He knew he'd be double off, so Morales could have run down to second base and touched it himself and had the rarest of the rare, an unassisted triple play. But he elected to toss it to the shortstop Ibar to complete the triple play. Here's the pitch. Fastball and foul back, 2-2. So if a double play is called a twin killing, we had last night was a triplet killing. And Truby just hitting in not into just tough luck, but about the toughest luck you can hit into. Then in the field, he was charged with an error on a really bizarre play when Salt Lake scored 3 runs in the second inning. More about that. Here's the 2-2 look. Loney at first base. Saunders gets set, looks at first, and comes home. Truby fouls the pitch away. It's still 2-2. No score here in the top of the second. Curtis Pride was at second base with 1 out. When Casey Smith hit a ground ball to short, Valdez flipped it to Truby at third when Pride decided to run, which was kind of a base-running mistake anyway. And then Truby ran Pride back to second, flipped the ball to Ibar to try to tag him out. And then all of a sudden, Truby, who was grabbed by Curtis Pride, the base runner, was called for interfering with Pride. Pitch is high, 3-2. But the problem was that Pride clearly went out of the baseline. He ended up on the infield grass. Both feet on the grass. Wasn't one of those borderline things. And so Truby said to the umpire, this is what Truby told me today, he said, well, what's the call? He said, I'm calling you for interference. And Truby said, well, look where the runner is. He's on the infield grass. Truby sends a high fly ball to deep right. Going back is Murphy. Murphy's at the warning track. Murphy at the base of the fence to make the catch. And the umpire said, well, the base runner has the right to make his own base path. And so, well, you can make of that what you like. In the 51 second, no runs, 1 hit, no errors and 1 left, and at the end of 1.5, there is no score.
This country is who we are. This country is in our heart. For all you need, this country is here for you. This country knows what's real. They share just what I feel. They're here for you and me. This is our country.
Let's face it, insurance is confusing. If you're like most people, you have more questions than answers. So when you talk to someone at Country Insurance and Financial Services, you'll get straightforward answers and assistance. At Country, it's not just talking about service. It's about knowing the people you serve.
They're here for you and me. This is our country.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is our country.
See the Country Insurance and Financial Services agent near you or visit countryfinancial.com.
Oh, quick pause on the gutter talk.
Fox Sports Radio 1460.
Who are you?
KDNO Las Vegas.
Do you play golf? Would you like to play 3 different courses all in one beautiful location and still have money left over to play again the next day? Then Golf Summerlin is the place for you. Come play Highland Falls, Palm Valley, and Eagle Crest. All 3 courses will keep you coming back for more. Golf Summerlin is also a great choice for your next tournament or group outing. For more information, call 254-7010. That's 254-7010. Golf Summerlin. 3 great courses, all open to the public, all very affordable.
Welcome back again, friends, to Salt Lake City. No score after 1.5 in Game 2 of this series. And now in the bottom of the second, Eric Stoltz back to work. We'll look at Kendry Morales, Nick Gourneau, and then Mike Napoli in the bottom of the second inning. Eric Stoltz told me before the game today that he felt that certainly he had his good stuff, his best stuff, and his best overall performance in his most recent start, which was a very strong start against Colorado Springs at Cashman Field. Fastball is low. Ball 1. Kendry Morales at the plate right now. Morales is a switch hitter, yet another switch hitter in this lineup. He's batting right-handed against the southpaw Stoltz. Fastball is low, skipping off the back portion of home plate. And the count is now 2-0. Morales in the ballgame last night ended up going 1 for 3 with a single, and also walked and scored a run. He is hitting .239 with 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in, batting right-handed with an open stance. Stoltz comes back with a 2-0 pitch, and that fastball is a little up maybe. Ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes to count. No score here in the bottom of the second inning. But Stoltz in that ball game, here comes his 3-0 pitch first of all, and that one is taken maybe low. Ball 4. Stoltz missing with a couple of close pitches, and that leadoff walk will bring up Nick Gourneau. Morales at first base now. Stoltz, and this was on Thursday, he went 7 scoreless innings to beat Colorado Springs. It was a combined shutout. Las Vegas won the game 7-0. And he allowed 5 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 6. It was his best start since he had also pitched at home and pitched well against this Salt Lake club. Here's Gourneau. Changeup is in for a strike, 0-1. When Stoltz has that good changeup working, it has almost kind of a screwball type of effect, veering down and away from a right-handed batter. Gourneau hitting .281. He has 4 home runs, which ties him with Dallas McPherson for the club high. And he's got 16 runs batted in. Changeup foul straight back, and the count is 0-2. So he starts him off with 2 changeups. Gourneau in last night's game had a 2-run single off T.J. Null in the 5th inning, and that was critical because there was a 3-3 tie going into the bottom of the 5th, and the Bees got 3 to pull away and win the ball game. The runs, although the ball was hit off of T.J. Null, were charged to starter William Juarez, who went 4 innings plus. The 0-2 to Gourneau. Stoltz looks at first, delivers a fastball. Gourneau lines it foul to the right back out of play toward the concession stand. And so he's late on the fastball after seeing 2 changeups, and the count is 0-2. Gourneau also had a steal last night. The Salt Lake Bees ran wild last night. They stole 6 bases and were caught 1 time. But in fairness to catcher Edwin Bellarine, as Kelly Wunsch was discussing also last night, they really stole those bases off William Juarez, who is kind of slow to the plate. There's a high foul to the right, and that's going to hook back out of play. Over the roof, 0-2 still. That's one of the things that Las Vegas pitching coach Ken Howell has talked about, the importance of them working with William Juarez to do a little better job of holding runners on and varying his tempo and stepping off and doing all the things that a pitcher needs to do to at least make the runner stop and not quite be as aggressive as the Bees were yesterday. 0-2 to count to Nick Gourneau out of Springfield, Massachusetts. So Stoltz, prior to tonight, 2 home starts, 2 road starts. 0-2 pitch as a high fly ball to center hit well. Weber going back. Now he turns, backpedaling to make the catch in front of the warning track. Heading back to first base is Morales. He was about 2/3 of the way to second, and there was 1 out. Weber wearing the shades, and he needed him that time. That ball was hit to dead center. It's 420 to straightaway center here, and Weber caught that ball probably 410 feet or so from home plate. Just in front of the warning track. 1 out, and the batter is the first baseman Mike Napoli, who homered in last night's game. Napoli was 1 for 3 with that home run, a 2-run shot in the second off of Juarez, which at the time gave Salt Lake a 2-1 advantage. And he also struck out twice and drew a walk. Here's the pitch. A sinking fastball just below the knees, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Stoltz, it was April 10th when he threw that very good game at Cashman against this club. A very similar lineup. A couple of guys not in the lineup. Dallas McPherson is not. And neither is Howie Kendrick, who's in the big leagues. Napoli swings and fouls it back. And the count is 1-1 to Napoli, right-handed hitter, hitting .243 with 3 homers and 9 runs batted in. But Stoltz was cruising in that game. He had a shutout into the 5th and finally allowed a run on an RBI single by Ryan Buddy, who was in the lineup tonight. Here's a look now. 1-1 the count. Stoltz looks at first and throws over there. And Morales had a short lead. He's back in with no problem at all. Stoltz 2 road starts. His first one was in Sacramento. That's when he absorbed his only loss of the year to this point. He went 4 innings plus and was reached for 5 runs. Only 3 of them earned, though. They did not play especially well behind him defensively that game. Fastball a little inside, 2-1. And Stoltz hurt himself by walking 5 batters. Then he pitched in Fresno and beat the Fresno Grizzlies, but he did not have his good stuff. He had to really battle to get that win, going 5 innings and surrendering 4 runs earned on 6 hits. He did strike out 7 men in that game and walked 3. 2 balls and a strike to Mike Napoli. Stoltz throws to first base, and standing back on the bag once again is Morales. No score in this one in the bottom of the second. And then came that game against Colorado Springs. So they talk about Cashman Field. We talk about it all the time, being such a great ballpark for hitters. There's a pop-up in the shallow right center. Garcia going out. Delwyn Young coming in. Young on the run. Goes into a dive and makes the catch as his cap goes flying off. And he feeds the ball to Garcia, who throws it back in. Good play by Delwyn Young, who was playing Napoli pretty deep. He had to go way in from straightaway right in the shallow right center, and then left his feet, and he was airborne for a moment and made the catch. Good play, 2 down. But Delwyn Young never played the outfield before this year. He's a second baseman. So 2 outs, and here's the switch-hitting second baseman, Brian Specht. 5 switch hitters in this order. And Stoltz tosses to first base to keep Morales close again. Specht has the regular second base job for Salt Lake since Howie Kendrick was called up to the Angels. And Specht is hitting .259, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in. Again, a throw to first base. And back in there is Morales. First time that Stoltz has faced Brian Specht. Specht, 5'11", 185, 25 years old. He's from Colorado Springs, but he played for Salt Lake last year and hit .309. There's a strike on the inside corner. A little cutter got in there. 0-1. He had 8 home runs, playing in about half the Salt Lake games. Drove in 36 and stole a dozen bases. So Specht, a handy guy. He's also made some good defensive plays. 1 strike to count. Morales has about a 2-step lead. The fastball missing a little low. Close. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Nobody really hurt Stoltz when he faced Salt Lake at Cashman. Eric Ibar had 2 hits off of him, one of them an infield single. Again, he only allowed the 4 hits. There's a line drive in the center, a base hit by Specht. Going to second base is Morales, and stopping there as Weber brings the ball back in. And now it's 2 on with 2 out, and the batter's Ryan Buddy, and that's the first Salt Lake hit. Buddy, the catcher, batting 8th. Comes in at 143 in 10 games with 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. And again, he drove in the only run off of Stoltz. The April 10th game at Cashman Field with a looping single that drove in Dallas McPherson. No score, bottom of the second. Eric Stoltz going back to work again. And Stoltz checking signs now with Russell Martin, his catcher. Fastball right down the middle at the knees. Strike 1 called. 0-1. Stoltz, 15th round pick by the Dodgers in the June first-year player draft of 2002. So he's had a pretty rapid descent in the Dodger organization. Breaking ball low. It's smothered there by Russell Martin. 1-1. The ascent has included stops at Great Falls, Vero Beach, Jacksonville. He's had 3 stops at Jacksonville, including last year where he really got it figured out down there. He was 4-3 in 12 starts with a 3.3 ERA. And with the 51s, he was 3-7, the ERA around 6.5, almost exclusively as a starter. 2 on, 2 out. The 1-1 to Ryan Buddy, and the sinking fastball is a strike on the outside corner. Russell Martin came out of his crotch and cocked his arm, threatening to throw to first base. Did not make a throw, but Brian Speck, thinking he might, went headlong into the bag. 1-2. Stoltz pitched and played center field for Bethel College in Indiana. There's a high chopper to the hole. It's short, backhanded by Valdez. His throw to first base is on a bounce and in time. James Loney grabbing that ball on one hop from Valdez as he went to the hole to backhand it, and Bill Wilson Valdez making another good play from shortstop. Salt Lake turned away in the second. No runs to hit, no errors and 2 left, and at the end of 2, there's no score.
You like that? That's the sound of speed waiting to be unleashed. You can get the same feeling with Cox High-Speed Internet. Currently unleashing blazing fast speeds of up to 5 megs. That's up to 90 times faster. It's no wonder Cox High-Speed Internet was ranked highest in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. So you think you're ready for Cox High-Speed Internet? Get it today for as low as $29.99 a month. Call 933-9854. That's 933-9854. For J.D. Power and Associates award information, go to jdpower.com. Limited time introductory offer. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
To whom it may concern, there comes a day when, frankly, the sun is too perfect, and the friends call, and the coolers scream, for the bright, crisp, clean taste of Budweiser. Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Supercuts, we pride ourselves on listening to our customers, but there are exceptions. So what are we thinking today, Todd?
Let's shave it, except leave the words Todd Rules in the back. You know, in hair.
I don't think so.
All right. But hey, all my friends pay like $100 for their haircuts, so would it be okay if I did the same?
Yeah, that's not really Supercuts policy.
Oh, I got one. This side leave long, the other side bald. We can call it the 2 sides of Todd.
Saving them from themselves. Supercuts. We know how it is.
Hello again. No score at the end of 2 here in Salt Lake City and a beautiful night. And this reminder, friends, Las Vegas 51's radio broadcast here on Fox Sports Radio 1460 are copyrighted by the Las Vegas 51s, the Pacific Coast League, and the National Association of Minor Leagues Incorporated. Any rebroadcast or any other use of the descriptions of 51's games without the written permission of the 51s, the Pacific Coast League, and the National Association of Minor Leagues is prohibited. After 2, no score in a battle of lefties here in Game 2 tonight. Joe Saunders back on the bump for Salt Lake facing Sergio Garcia. And the fastball's a little outside, ball 1 to Serge. Garcia hitting .375 in 9 games, 1 home run, 2 runs batted in. Right-handed batter wearing number 26, waiting in the pitch. A line drive in a deep left field. Gornell going back, looking up. That ball is up on the berm, and it is a line drive home run for Sergio Garcia. And that ball got out of here in probably about 2.5 seconds. I mean, he got a high pitch and turned on it and hit a rocket to left field. It was not one of those high moon shots. It was a low line drive that didn't clear the fence by much, but it got on that berm. And a couple of the people out there with the blankets stretched out were all of a sudden saying, oh, here comes a souvenir. So Sergio Garcia, a line drive home run, opening up the Las Vegas third. 51s have a 1-0 lead. Sergio Garcia now has 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. And the batter is the number 9 hitter, the left-handed hitting center fielder, John Weber. Fastball to strike, and the count is 0-1. For Joe Saunders, that is the 4th home run he's given up in less than 32 innings. And the count 0-1 to Weber, who's hitting .218, no homers and 6 RBIs. There's a pop-up on the left side, shortstop eyeball on the outfield grass, wanting it, and makes the catch about 10 feet deep onto the grass. 1 gone. And the batter, Wilson Valdez. On that home run by Sergio Garcia, Bank of America donates $50 to Special Olympics as part of the Dingers for Dollars program. 51s with 2 hits now. The other hit a single by James Loney in the second. And here is Wilson Valdez. They're in at the corners to try to take the bunt away from Valdez, who is, as we've said many times, a superior bunter. Fastball is high, just above the belt, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Saunders quickly reading the signs of Buddy, comes back with a 1-0 pitch. Fastball, that's in there for a strike on the outside half. It is a ball and a strike to Valdez, who walked to lead off the game on a 3-1 pitch and tried to steal second, hit a good jump, but catcher Ryan Buddy threw a strike down to second baseman Brian Speck to get him. There's a ground ball to third, a diving effort by Pavkovich to his left, and he can't get it. It's in the left field for a base hit, and Valdez has the third Las Vegas hit. Gornell lobs it into second base. It looked like Pavkovich, when the ball was first hit, was going to be able to make the play. But the key thing there, because he was playing in to guard against the bunt, that gave him less time to react to that chopper to his left. He went into a dive and couldn't quite get it. So Valdez is at first base with 1 out on that chopper through the hole. And the batter's Russell Martin, who took a call at third strike on a knee-high fastball in the first inning. Valdez at first, 1 out, and breaking ball is right in the dirt. It kicks off of Ryan Buddy and rolls in front of the plate, and Valdez goes down to second base on what might be scored a wild pitch. The ball nearly hit Martin in the foot, but it did not hit him. Buddy moved over to block it, and they do score a wild pitch. That's charged to Saunders. So Valdez at second base with 1 out, and the count 1-0 on Russell Martin. Martin's average, as he stands in now, 279. No homers, 8 RBIs. Valdez with good speed at second base with 1 out in the top of the third, and the 51's up 1-0. Martin checks his swing on a fastball that's high, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Joe Saunders working on Russell Martin. And it's 2-0. On deck is Willie Ibar. Saunders gets set, looks back at Valdez, now comes home. And Martin swings and misses at a breaking ball, veering in on his hands. Looked like a cutter, and he swung through it. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. In Saunders' most recent outing, which was on Thursday night, against the Tacoma Rainiers in Tacoma, he picked up a victory and pitched beautifully. 7 innings, no runs, 1 hit. He walked 1, struck out 9. There's a 2-1 pitch. Fastball high. It is 3-1. And the Rainiers, good ball club, no question. I mean, they've got, they're well balanced. They're 14-9 right now, and they enter tonight in second place, only a half a game behind this Salt Lake club in the Pacific Northern Division. 3-1 to Martin. Valdez, for the moment, a very short lead off second base. He's trying to widen it now. And now the 3-1 pitch. Martin hits a line drive left field, base hit. Over to pick it up is Gornell. At third base goes Valdez, and he'll stop as Gornell fires a strike into third baseman Adam Pavkovic, halfway between third base and the mound. So Martin hits a rocket to left field, a very good at bat. He was pretty patient. And Valdez, because the ball was hit so hard, and Gornell has an excellent arm, is held at third base by Steve Yeager. So the 51s have 4 hits, 3 in this inning. Martin is 1 for 2. And now the league's RBI leader is up there with a major RBI opportunity. First and third and 1 out. Ibar sent the fly ball to center field when he was first ball swinging in the first inning. 1-0 Las Vegas here in the top of the third. Valdez at third. Martin at first being held on by Mike Napoli. Here's a look by Saunders. And the pitch to Ibar. He hits a little dunker in the shallow center. Going back is the second baseman Speck to make a one-handed catch. And there are 2 outs. So twice now, Ibar has chosen to swing at the first pitch and has hit a couple of lazy pop flies each time. 2 down, and the batter is Guzman. First ball was caught by Willett, and that was caught by Brian Speck, a little pop-up. So now, 2 outs, and here's Joel Guzman, who grounded out to short on a ball hit up the middle. A good play by Eric Ibar leading off the second inning. Ibar went behind the bag and was actually a few feet out into the outfield grass to make a long throw to get Guzman. Guzman hitting .320, 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. Runners to the corners, 2 outs. And a changeup has taken high ball 1. Word about Guzman's power has apparently circulated pretty well. Plus, the Salt Lake team knew about it anyway because they saw him in the 4-game series at Cashman Field, and he had several hits against them. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Saunders, and Guzman gets a fastball, fouls it back, and he just missed that pitch. Fastball up, and fouled it back. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. When Saunders pitched in that game at Cashman Field, the one time he faced the 51s, Las Vegas won the game 5-4. They were down at one point 3-1 and rallied for the victory. The 1-1 to Guzman. He swings and misses, and now it is 1-2. Guzman was 1 for 3 against Saunders. Saunders struck him out the first 2 times he faced him. Then Guzman rattled one off the fence in right center for an RBI single in the critical inning of that ball game, which was a 3-run Las Vegas fifth. 1-2. The look now by Saunders, and he delivers. A breaking ball hit high and deep to left. Garneau going back now at the edge of the track, makes the catch, and Saunders gets out of the inning. Guzman is so strong, he swung with one hand and nearly got that ball to the warning track. 1 run on the home run by Garcia, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. And at the end of 2.5, Las Vegas 1 and Salt Lake nothing.
My husband is a dirty, rotten thief.
Well, that's a bit harsh, dear.
Oh, harsh. No, what is harsh is not being able to find my Sprint Yellow Pages when I need them, which, as a matter of fact, is awful.
Well, it's not like I steal them.
Oh, really? Then they're right here in the drawer, huh? Yeah. Surprise. Not there. Thief.
Oh, harsh.
Luckily, Sprint Yellow Pages saved our marriage with their internet Yellow Pages.
It's easy for her to log on to bestredyp.com when she can't find the book.
And it's hard for him to steal a computer.
The same great information you find in the Sprint Yellow Pages is now available online at bestredyp.com. Local listings, maps, store hours, menu guides, and more. Now available at the click of a mouse. And now you can find everything online at bestredyp.com, the internet home of the Sprint Yellow Pages, published by R.H. Donnelly. Log on today.
I guess I am kind of a thief.
Yeah.
I stole her heart back in 83.
See? Exactly what I said. What a cute one. Oh, I love you.
BestRedYP.com, the internet home of the Sprint Yellow Pages.
There was a time when kids played in the park on the way home from school, when folks held hands on evening strolls, and neighbors often became your very best friends. Once there was a time, now there is a place. Providence Master Planned Community. From the old-fashioned ballparks to lively paseos and bustling neighborhoods, this is where great traditions live again. Providence. North I-215 at Lullaby. Learn more at providencelv.com. An equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back again, my friends. We're here in Salt Lake City at the end of 2.5. Las Vegas leading 1-0, although the 51s had a pretty solid opportunity to get more than 1 run in that third inning after the home run by Sergio Garcia, the second baseman. 51s put runners at the corners with 1 out as Wilson Valdez singled, took second on a wild pitch and went to third on a line drive single left by Russell Martin. But Willie Ibar, who is the league leader in RBIs, swung at the first pitch and popped out, and then Joel Guzman hit a fly ball to deep left, and that was it. So Saunders got out of it fairly cheaply. And now Eric Stoltz will look at the 9, 1, and 2 Bs, beginning with Adam Papkovich, the third baseman, who is making his first appearance in this series. Papkovich, a right-handed batter who is hitting .300 on the nose with 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in, will come up now. And then the lineup will turn over for the first time tonight. Leadoff man Eric Ibar will follow Papkovich, and then Reggie Willits. Papkovich, righty, slightly open stance, and the pitch from Stoltz. And a changeup drops in for a strike, 0-1. Papkovich hails from Venice, Florida. Split time between AA and AAA last year, the Texas League, Arkansas. The pitch is in for a strike, 0-2. Had some time here in Salt Lake as well. Manager Brian Harper doing a lot of shuffling. Brian Harper, a good ball player, underrated player, mostly a catcher, but did have some time in the outfield. Played for the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Minnesota Twins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Ground ball to second. Garcia waits for the swing, picks it up, and fires on the first base and gets him. So Papkovich rolls out 4-3. 1 gone for Eric Ibar. Let's listen to the youngster doing the PA. Pretty good. Ibar grounded out to second in the first, and he's up again. So the 51s lead the Pacific Southern Division with a 16-9 mark. They are 3 games up on Tucson. Well, as I said, Tucson's a good club. They've won 4 straight and 9 of 10. They got up to a bad start, but they really have turned it around. There's a strike to Ibar, 0-1. Stoltz coming right back with the 0-1 pitch, and a fastball. He swings and fouls it back on the ground, quickly 0-2. Sacramento now in third place. They've lost 4 straight after dropping an extra inning game to Portland last night, a 10-inning 9-6 loss. So Sacramento is 11-13, 4.5 out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's in the dirt, blocked by Martin, 1-2. Fresno is in last place, 6.5 out. In the Pacific North, Salt Lake, half a game up on Tacoma. Portland is 12-12. They are 3 games out, and Colorado Springs is 8.5 out. The 1-2 pitch to Eric Ibar. And a fly ball hit to right, shallow. Going out, Garcia. Young coming in, and Young calls off Garcia, makes the catch in shallow right. 2 down. That brings up Reggie Willits, who struck out in the first. In the American Southern Division, Albuquerque owns the league's best record. They are 17-8. They lead Round Rock by 3.5. New Orleans by 6.5. The Zephyrs got off to a good start, but now they've lost 9 straight. Oklahoma is 7.5 back. Then you have the American North. Nashville leads Omaha by 2.5. Iowa by 6 and Memphis by 8. Stoltz delivers to Reggie Willits. Fastball a little below the knees, ball 1. 1-0. 1-0 Las Vegas. If you just joined us, 51s broke a scoreless tie in the top of the third when Sergio Garcia led the inning off with a line drive home run to left. Here's a 1-0 to Willits. Fastball high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Stoltz wearing number 34, slowly walking back to the top of the hill. Stoltz playing for Bethel College in Indiana. That team won the 2002 National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association Division I championship. The pitch is a little bit low to Willits. 3 balls and no strikes to count. And while playing for them, his record as a pitcher was 10-1. As I mentioned, he played basketball there as well. Here comes his 3-0 pitch to Reggie Willits. Fastball, that's a strike. 3 balls and a strike now. Stoltz in his 5th season in professional ball, all with the Dodger system. Had a little bit of time in the big leagues in spring training, big league camp. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And a fastball is a strike on the outside corner. Willits thought it was ball 4, and he's saying something to the plate umpire as he gets back to home plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Willits is gesturing to the far end of the plate. And now finally ready to hit now as he digs back in wearing number 7. He pounds home plate with the black bat and cranks it around. Stoltz with a sign from Martin. Here's the payoff pitch. Ground ball hit slowly toward third. Charged by Ibar. He has it from the infield grass. He throws it out. Nice play by Ibar to take care of Willits. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Bees in the third. After 3, Las Vegas 1, Salt Lake nothing.
Thank you, Diane. That's quite a story.
Well, thanks, Bob. Now, let's turn the time over to Steve with our 5-day forecast. Steve, what's coming down the pike?
Mm-hmm. Well, Bob and Diane, it looks like we have quite a wholesome week ahead in the western region of the Cereal Bowl. Right here, things are looking pretty creamy. But wait, here comes a cold front. Looks refreshing. Precipitation from the North Gallant should drench a delicious 3 inches. Oh, and the next day, we get a great big homogenized whole milk storm sweeping in. It should make for great recipes on the weekend with a lot of sour cream on top. But that's all right because we could use the calcium.
Meadow Gold Dairy. Skim, 2% whole and chocolate milk, as well as cottage cheese and sour cream, are so fresh and delicious they might leave you a little bit distracted.
What does the milk hold for next week? Should be chocolate from here on out. Back to you, Diane.
Sounds delicious, Steve.
Very good, Diane.
Oh, way to milk it, Bob.
Meadow Gold Dairy. Got something fresh on your mind?
Take me out to the ball game, or the grocery store, or work, or the strip, with convenient public transportation from your RTC. Like MATS, Southern Nevada's environmentally friendly transit alternative. Or CAT, the Citizens Area Transit covering all of Southern Nevada. And the Deuce, a double-decker experience covering the strip. Driving is our game, so hop on board the bus. Visit rtcsouthernnevada.com for more information.
Back again here in Salt Lake. After 3, 1-0 Las Vegas over the Salt Lake Bees on a home run leading off the third by Las Vegas second baseman Sergio Garcia. And so Joe Saunders will face Delwyn Young, James Loney, and Chris Truby in the Las Vegas 4th, 5, 6, and 7 in the Las Vegas batting order. A lot of the same players faced by Saunders when he faced the 51s. 51s, when they beat Saunders, actually, Saunders had no decision. They beat Matt Wilhite in relief 5-4 in that game. The 51s went 6-0 after that win that day. The pitch is a strike to Delwyn Young, who grounded out to first in the second inning. And Saunders has the sign from Buddy coming right back. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball grounded to short. Charged by Ibar. He scoops it up and throws on the first base and takes care of Delwyn Young. And there is one out in the top of the fourth inning. And the batter is James Loney, who grounded a single up the middle in the second. Nick Alvarez was in the lineup that night. He's on the bench to open this game. And Oscar Robles, now in the big leagues with the Dodgers, also was in the lineup that day. Saunders went 4 2/3, allowed 8 hits and 4 runs earned. He walked 3 and struck out 5. Here's the pitch to James Loney. And a nice overhand curveball. It's a strike. 1 strike to count to Loney. 1 run, 4 hits for Las Vegas. No runs, 1 hit for Salt Lake. We're in the top of the fourth of game 2. The pitch to Loney. Fastball is a little bit below the knees, ball 1. 1-1 the count. So 1-0 Vegas. Loney up with Chris Truby on deck. Saunders likes to work quickly. Here he comes with a 1-1 pitch. Fastball tails outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Now Saunders collects the sign from Buddy. And Loney, feeling that maybe the tempo is a little bit beyond his liking, calls time and steps away. Try to disrupt Saunders' rhythm a little bit. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Loney takes a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. I mentioned that great game that Saunders threw in Tacoma last time, but he's really coming off back-to-back fine starts because he pitched here against Tucson the start before that, April 21st, and again pitched well, had no decision. Loney fouls one away, still 2-2. But he went 7 innings, allowed just 2 runs earned on 7 hits, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. So in his last 2 starts combined, he has allowed only 2 earned runs in 14 innings, walking 2, striking out 10, allowing only 8 hits. So he's really done well. 2-2 pitch. Loney hits that one in the air, foul to the left. That'll hook onto the roof. Still 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Saunders back with a new ball to work with. And a breaking ball's over Loney's head. He ducks under it. And the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes to James Loney. Tony Roma's scoreboard coming up in a little bit. Look at the big league scores and the PCL business. What is already started. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And the breaking ball is high. Nice at bat for Loney. Fought off some decent pitches. He draws the second walk issued by Saunders. 1 on, 1 out for Chris Truby. Iowa's at Nashville, and Round Rock hosting Oklahoma. New Orleans is at Memphis. Albuquerque playing host to Omaha. Tacoma's at Colorado Springs, 51's next stop on this trip. Portland's at Sacramento, and Fresno playing host to the Tucson Sidewinders. They're trying to cool off a hot Tucson club, which tonight is looking for its 5th consecutive win. Go to first base, and back in there is Loney. This has never been an easy team for the 51s to beat, regardless of what they've called themselves. Bees, Buzz, Stingers, whatever. All-time, Las Vegas is only 74-105 against this franchise. Truby swings and misses. It's 0-1. Truby flying out to the right field wall. His first at-bat to finish up the Las Vegas second inning. At home, the 51s have played 500 ball against Salt Lake, 45 up, 45 down. But here, forget it, 29-60 the pitch. A fly ball high and deep toward left toward the corner. Gorneau coming toward the line, has a play, makes the catch near the far end of the Vegas bullpen, and he airmails one to first base on 1 hop. As Loney gets back, Gorneau has quite an arm. 2 outs. Truby 0 for 2. Here's Sergio Garcia, whose line drive home run to left is the only run thus far in this game as we play in the top of the 4th inning. Vegas up 1-0. Salt Lake was a second-place team last year. They were 79-65. They went right down to the wire at a very good race with Tacoma. Tacoma ultimately won that division, beat Sacramento in round 1 of the playoffs, and lost to Nashville for the championship. Fastball missing high to Garcia, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Sergio Garcia. Loney on first base, 2 outs. Loney has a decent lead, held on by Napoli. Saunders looks there, now delivers home. Fastball lifted to shallow center field. Willits broke out. Now he has to come in hard into a slide to make the catch. Nice play by Willits, who I think initially was fooled by the ball. He saw Garcia take a big swing, and he knows Garcia hit a home run his first time up, so he thought the ball might be going over his head. He took he kind of leaned back and took a half step, then came in hard, made a nice play. In the Las Vegas 4th, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. After 3.5, Las Vegas 1, Salt Lake 0.
Getting a mortgage shouldn't take forever, and it shouldn't be a big headache. Introducing hassle-free mortgages with 80% less paperwork only from Bank of America. For your next mortgage, Bank of America has what you want. Competitive rates, lots of choices to reduce or eliminate fees and closing costs, convenient ways to apply, in person, by phone, or online, plus 80% less paperwork. So you don't waste your time tracking down hundreds of old financial documents. Discover hassle-free Bank of America mortgages for yourself. Call 1-800-900-9000. Visit your local Bank of America banking center or go online to bankofamerica.com/loans. Not all applicants will qualify for reduced paperwork benefit. All credit is subject to approval. Normal credit standards apply. Terms and conditions are subject to change without notice. Bank of America. Higher standards. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
I've never seen a lineup quite like this one. The kitchen is loaded. The placemats are set. The bowls are on the table. He sees his granola crunch. He grabs the door. He swings. It's Anderson Dairy Milk all the way. Nothing makes breakfast taste better than milk. Over cereal with eggs, toast, and jam, or add some chocolate and shake things up. Here's our pitch. Milk. It's a real team player. From Anderson Dairy, the dairy expert.
Little Jerry Lee Lewis had a killer with great balls of fire. Bottom of the fourth inning, Las Vegas with a 1-0 lead over Salt Lake. Gorgeous night in Salt Lake City. Temperatures hovering in the low 70s, and it's a beautiful view of the Wasatch Mountain Range. Snow-capped mountains off in the distance with that bright blue backdrop. It's just gorgeous. Shadows now have covered most of the field. Now there's a little strip of sunlight in right center field. That's about it. Part of the right field wall still has a little sunshine on it. Eric Stoltz through 3 has allowed no runs, 1 hit. He's walked 1. He struck out 1. Thrown very well. And the number 3 hitter, Tommy Murphy, started off. And he runs up to bunt, takes a fastball outside, ball 1. Murphy grounded out to third in the first inning. And the count to him is 1-0. Tomorrow, Chad Billingsley goes for the 51s in Game 3 against righty Stephen Shell. Billingsley 3-0 with a 1.59 ERA. There's a liner into center, and that is a base hit for Tommy Murphy. Weber has it, fires it back in. Murphy with very good speed is aboard, opening up the Salt Lake fourth inning. Hit number 2 for Salt Lake, and for Murphy, a chance for him to run. He has 3 steals, although he has been caught 5 times. He did steal successfully in yesterday's game. That brings up Kendry Morales. Anheuser-Busch, brewers of the king of beers, Budweiser and Bud Light, urges you to drink responsibly and don't drink and drive. Okay, here's Morales, the switch-hitting DH. He walked opening up the second, his first time up, and Stoltz sidearms one over to first base, and back in there with no problem whatsoever is Tommy Murphy. Murphy, despite the less than stellar stolen base percentage this year, is nonetheless a formidable base-stealing threat. There's a high drive to deep right center field. Weber on the run, racing over. He can't get it. The ball bounces by him and goes to the wall. Weber picks it up and fires it in. Here comes Murphy around third base, and here comes a throw to third, and sliding in safely with a triple is Morales, and the game is tied at 1. Morales teed off on one. Weber got a good jump, but the ball was simply hit over his head. Murphy frantically waved in by Brian Harper. The 51s had a good chance to throw Kenji Morales out at third base, and the relay from Valdez was there in time. Willie Ibar had to reach a little bit up to get it above his head, but he didn't have to jump or anything, but the ball popped out of the webbing of his mitt and rolled behind him in the foul ground, and so Morales has a triple. Fastball is low, ball 1. So with Morales' triple, that's his first triple of the year. Here's that B sound they make with the PA system here. And the game is now tied at 1. Morales at third is the tie-breaking run. Here's Gorneau. He took a ball. Now he takes a strike, and Gorneau really unhappy with that call. You can tell by his body language, his shoulders slump as he gets out of the box, cocks his head, looks at the plate umpires as if to say, what? 1-1 the count. Gorneau flied out to deep center his first time up. The infield is back at second and short. First baseman Loney is even with the bag. 1-1 pitch. Fastball is strike at the knees. It's 1-2 to Nick Gorneau. At third base, Ibar is at his regular post. So 51's more or less, unless it's hit to the corners. are ready to concede this run here with Morales at third base and nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning, and the game tied at 1. 1-2 pitch. Fastball inside on the elbows. It's 2-2. Stephen Shell will pitch tomorrow for Salt Lake, opposing Chad Billingsley. He's coming off that masterpiece at Cashman Field. Now the infield comes in all the way around. 2-2 pitch. Fastball hit on one hop past the diving Loney down the right field line. Morales scores. Young picks it up, fires towards second base, but it's too late. It's a stand-up double for Garneau. It's 2-1 Salt Lake. I don't know that Loney would have had that ball anyway. He's an outstanding defensive first baseman. But with him playing in, he had no chance at all to get that ball. Good piece of opposite field hitting by Nick Garneau with 2 strikes on him. I mean, either way, the runner's going to score. But Garneau's now at second base, so in this inning, all of a sudden, the Bees hitting everything hard. A single by Murphy, the long triple by Morales, and then Garneau smacking one the other way for a double. Single, triple, and a double. The Bees have the lead 2-1. Garneau's at second base with nobody out, and here's first baseman Mike Napoli. And a curveball's in for a strike, 0-1. Napoli hit a pop fly to shallow right center, and it was caught by a diving Delwyn Young in the second inning. Hitting .240. Garneau at second base. Nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-1 Salt Lake. Stoltz delivers. Fastball to strike on the outside corner at the knees. Good pitch. 0-2 on Napoli. Napoli, a catcher, playing first base, is Ryan Buddy doing the catching in this game. Stoltz is all set. A look back at Garneau, and now time is called by Napoli, who steps out. 0-2. Napoli ranked 11th by Baseball America. That good of a prospect, according to them, in the Angels system, as far as the ranking goes. 0-2 pitch. He hits a high foul to the right. That one is going to fall back into the lower level of seats about 10 rows behind the first base dugout, and it's still 0-2. Napoli, 17th round pick by the Angels in the 2000 draft out of Pembroke Pines High School in Florida. Waiting on the 0-2 from Stoltz. Garneau off second. Here's the pitch. Fastball a little up and away. 1-2. Napoli missed most of 2003 with a torn labrum in his right shoulder that required surgery. So he was really barely on the Angels' radar because of uncertainty that he could handle catching full time. Tough injury to have if you're doing anything, but especially catching. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball to Tapper to second. So good job by Napoli. Garcia throws him out, but Garneau goes over to third base. So with 2 strikes on him, Napoli gives himself up with a weak ground ball to the right side, but it gets Garneau to third base. Good piece of hitting. 1 out for Brian Specht. Brian Specht single to center for the first Salt Lake hit of this game in the second. He now has a chance to drive in Garneau, who's at third base with 1 out. The Bees already ahead 2-1 on the bottom of the fourth. And Steve Yeager elects to bring the infield in tight all the way around. Stoltz from a stretch. Here he comes. Breaking ball grounded up the middle. Past Valdez. That's a base hit in the center. Garneau scores. It's now 3-1 Salt Lake. Well, the Las Vegas 51s are seeing firsthand why the Salt Lake offense is as efficient as it is. They are second in the league in runs scored behind Nashville, and it's close. Nashville is 143, Salt Lake 140. The 51s are third in the league at 130. But they did just do a good job of situational hitting. They've scored 3 times here to lead 3-1. Here is catcher Ryan Buddy 0 for 1. And Stoltz throws the first. Specht, who is 2 for 2, is now back in there. There's that buzzing again. It's supposed to be buzzing, the sound of a beehive, but it sounds like it's the sound of somebody of when the movers come to your house to move the armoire. And it doesn't, it's kind of rubbing on the ground. There's a pitch out, and Specht not going anywhere. Ball 1-0. Nails on the chalkboard type of sound. 3-1 Salt Lake here. They've got 4 of their 5 hits here in the fourth inning. So they're doing a good job of bunching their hits. Buddy grounded out to short in a good play by Wilson Valdez, who went way to the hole, to the backhand side to get it. Changeup lifted high in the air to left. That's routine for Guzman, who trots in about 3 steps and makes the catch. 2 outs. Specht fades back to first base. And the batter is the third baseman, Adam Pavkovich. Friends drinking milk 3 times a day supplies the calcium and other vitamins you need. Anderson Dairy, the dairy experts since 1907. 3-1 Salt Lake. Stoltz pausing behind the rubber as Guzman had to go near the left field wall to pick up some debris. So he's now getting back to his position. Pavkovich opened up the third by grounding out to second. Specht off first, and the pitch. There's a fastball for a strike just above the knees on the outside part of the plate. Nice pitch. 0-1 the count. So 2 good prospects tomorrow. Chad Billingsley for Las Vegas. Steve Shell ranked 15th in the Angels system will pitch tomorrow. Billingsley ranked number 1 in the Dodgers system. Here's the 0-1 and the pitch. Fastball foul back. He had a good rip at that pitch, and the count 0-2. With 2 strikes on Pavkovich now, Specht might be running. He has stolen 6 bases and has only been caught once. 0-2 is the count. Specht takes his lead. Stoltz looks there, looks again, and comes home. Fastball line to the right, a base hit. Over to pick it up is Young, and he'll play it back in. Stopping at second base is Brian Specht. Adam Pavkovich got a high fastball. I'm sure it's not where Stoltz wanted it. He either wanted it in to jam him or up and away to try to get it to Chase. And he left it in the middle of the plate, so Pavkovich kind of tomahawked it in the right field for a single on an 0-2 pitch. So now, the batter Eric Ibar, who's grounded out to second and flied out to right. So that's a total of 6 hits for Salt Lake, 5 in this inning. And here's Ibar. Stoltz trying to get out of the inning. The pitch. A little slow breaking ball in low. Ball 1, 1-0. 3-1 Salt Lake in the bottom of the 4th. This is a big hitter for Stoltz to get. If he can't get Ibar, the Bees have a great shot at scoring some more runs right here. Here's a 1-0. A changeup, and he swings and rolls it foul to the third base dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. Angels signed Ibar for $100,000 back in 2002, and when they did, he was considered a lesser prospect than his brother Willie, who had signed with the Dodgers for $1.4 million 2 years earlier. But Eric has developed into a really good prospect, and the pure shortstop the Angels had hoped he would develop into. 1-1 stretch by Stoltz, and the breaking ball dips in a little low. 2 balls and a strike. Ibar, not much size to him, but he got some sting in his swing, no question. 2 balls and a strike. Specht at second, Pavkovich at first. The 2-1. Fastball foul back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. He worked a lot throughout last year while he was at AA Arkansas with the Angels minor league hitting coordinator, Ty Van Berkelio, who encouraged him to shorten his swing, and he got back to doing what he does best, spraying line drives all over the ballpark and using his good speed to set the table. He hit .303 at Arkansas last year and stole 49 bases. They'd like to see him improve his plate discipline a little bit, because if he can walk, then he could really be a catalyst at the top of the order. Deuces wild, 2 on, 2 out, and the 2-2 pitch. A ground ball fouled outside third. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Eric Ibar. Ibar also very good at shortstop. Turns the double play very well. Good arm strength. Two balls and 2 strikes. Specht away from second base. Pavkovich off first. The infield is very well spread out. The outfield straight away and shallow. 2-2 pitch. Fastball popped up in front of home plate. Martin, and now the ball drifts out near the mound, and Ibar makes the catch. Willie Ibar came in. The breeze is blowing out, and it looked like when the ball went up in the air that Martin would be the man to get it, but Martin gave up on it because the wind was pushing it out toward the mound. So Stoltz and Martin looked at each other. Loney broke late from first, and Willie Ibar had to make the catch just on the back slope of the mound. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 2 left. At the end of 4, Salt Lake 3 to 51's 1.
It's opening season at the Golden Nugget. Check out our digs and our new Major League lineup. Play ball! Arrive in style at our new Grand Valley entrance and Port Cochere. Then slide into our remodeled luxurious marble lobby. Experience Vic and Anthony, a rookie to the team who's been recognized as one of America's top 10 steakhouses. Step up to the plate for a prime steak and all-star service. Or try Cantonese, Sichuan, and Pan-Asian cuisine in a contemporary setting. Lily's Noodle House will have all your bases covered. With 29 AAA 4-Diamond awards and 60 years of striking success, Golden Nuggets record is unlike any other in Las Vegas. It's a big hit. The 51s know that the Golden Nugget is the place to be for Las Vegas' great American pastime. Golden Nugget Las Vegas. It's a brand new ball game. Visit GoldenNugget.com for a complete roster of renovations.
Hey, Nick, didn't we just cut your hair yesterday?
Yeah. Remember when you said my Supercuts haircut would help me get noticed by women?
Uh-huh.
It worked a little too well.
You are my Swoopy Woopy.
Sweetie, I'd like to introduce you to my Supercut stylist, Tina. Tina, this is Barbara.
Brenda, hey. And I'm so excited to meet the woman who makes my special guy look so cute.
I can't breathe.
Supercuts is quick, right?
We're fast.
Because I can't stand to be away from my poopykins.
Kill me, please.
Supercuts. We know how it is.
Welcome back again, friends. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Salt Lake buzzing around the bases 3 times to take a 3-1 lead now. And now Joe Saunders has the lead for the first time, facing John Weber. He looks at a fastball low, ball 1. Again, the 51's slightly short-handed as far as position players for tonight. Andre Ethier, if you didn't hear, was called up to the big club with Ricky Leday suffering a groin injury. So we wish Andre Ethier all the best. He certainly deserved it the way he played. Fastball is a strike to Weber. 1-1. Weber's 0 for 1. He popped out to short. So the 51's, as far as the outfield goes, Joel Guzman in left, John Weber in center, Delwin Young playing right, and the extra outfielder for tonight is Jeff Duncan. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson Valdez on deck, then Russell Martin in the Vegas 5th. Fastball line to left, a base hit toward the line. Over to pick it up is Nick Gorneau, and he'll play it back in. So John Weber, a nice piece of opposite field hitting. Got a fastball up and away, and went right with it. And that'll bring up Wilson Valdez for Las Vegas. They have collected their 5th hit. Valdez has been on base twice. He walked to open the game and was caught stealing by catcher Ryan Buddy. Made a great throw to get him. Then he grounded a single to left in the 3rd. 51's got their run in the 3rd when Sergio Garcia led off with a line drive home run to left. And then with 1 out, they put runners at the corners with the 3 and 4 hitters coming up, but they could not convert any extra offense. As Ibar popped out and Guzman flied out. There's a fastball, a strike call on the inside corner to Wilson Valdez. 0-1. Third baseman Pavkovich is right near the dirt cutout. Weber at first base with an 0-1 count. John Weber is 3 for 3 in steals. The 3 steals lead this team so far this year. Fastball is a little too far inside this time. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tony Roma's scoreboard. In the National League, Philadelphia defeated, let's see now. Game is still going on. Don't want to jump the gun here. Philadelphia a 7-5 lead in Miami. They're in the middle of the 9th inning right now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Valdez takes a fastball low and inside. So Saunders trying to jam Valdez, pounding him inside. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Jimmy Rollins is homer for the Phillies, his 3rd. And Tom Gordon is in to try to close. He just relieved Ryan Franklin. 7-5 Phillies in the 9th against the Marlins in Florida. There goes Weber on a hit-and-run ground ball to second. Ibar has it, steps on the bag for 1, throws to first on a hop double play. 2 down. So that's the kind of series it's been for the Las Vegas 51 so far. They hit into a triple play yesterday with the runners going. This time, John Weber running. It was an ideal hit-and-run count. And Valdez, a good stick man, will not strike out all that often puts wood on the ball. So why not send him? And Valdez hit a sharp ground ball. The problem was that the second baseman, not Ibar, but Brian Specht, when he saw Weber running, broke for the bag. And guess where Valdez hit it? Yep, right at where Specht was headed. The pitch is ball 1 to Russell Martin. A change up that missed outside. So Speck grabbed it, stepped on the bag, and threw to first base, a double play, despite the fact that they sent Weber, and that was the whole point of sending Weber. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Martin takes it up and away, a fastball 2-0. The whole point was to stay out of the double play. And unfortunately for the 51s, he hit into some bad luck right there. 2-0 pitch to Martin. Fastball they called strike, borderline pitch near the knees. Martin has struck out, and he has singled. So the 51s with some poor situational hitting in the third. First and third, nobody out. Then the 3 and 4 hitters up. Here's a 2-1 pitch, and Martin takes a fastball high. It's 3-1. And they could have used at least one extra run there, but didn't get it. Meanwhile, Salt Lake with very good situational hitting in the fourth inning. Murphy single, Morales tripled him in. Here's the 3-1 to Martin, and Martin hits a line drive to left field, and going back on the ball is Gorneau. He jumps up, and it's over his head off the wall on one hop. Martin going to second. Here comes the throw. It's off target. A double for Russell Martin. So now, how big is that double play? Martin is 2 for 3, and the batter, Willie Ibar. Martin hit that ball hard. Gorneau was playing him deep, and he still couldn't get back to get it. Russell Martin leads the team in doubles, and for Martin, that is his 9th double of the year. He's among the league leaders, in fact, in that category. Ibar's 0 for 2. He's fly to center and popped out to second, and both times he has swung at the first pitch. 3-1 Salt Lake. We're in the top of the 5th inning. The pitch. Change up his high, ball 1-0. And again, in that Salt Lake fourth, Murphy singled. Morales hit the ball to right center. Murphy scored, but the 51s had a definite play on Morales at third, and Ibar, playing third base, reached up and had the ball pop out of the webbing of his mitt. He hits a line drive in the left. Here comes Gorneau to make the catch and finish the inning. A very frustrating inning for the 51s. They had line drives all over the place, but because of the double play on the hit and run and just bad luck that time, they do not score. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left after 4.5. Salt Lake 3, the 51s 1.
They say that the best kind of advertising is word-of-mouth advertising. And here at New York Hotel and Casino, we couldn't agree more. That's why today we're at the Manhattan Express roller coaster, asking people to describe their experience. Excuse me, sir, what do you think of the ride so far? Anything else? What about you, ma'am? Are you enjoying the ride? Sounds like a yes to me. Is that your husband there? How do you like the ride, sir? Well, there you have it. The people have spoken. The Manhattan Express roller coaster at New York. Come and see for yourself what everyone's been talking about. You gotta love this town.
The following is mandatory program material. Fox Sports Radio 1460.
No time for questions.
KENO Las Vegas.
Take me out to the ball game, or the grocery store, or work, or the Strip, with convenient public transportation from your RTC. Like MAT, Southern Nevada's environmentally friendly transit alternative. Or CAT, the Citizens Area Transit covering all of Southern Nevada. And the Deuce, a double-decker experience covering the Strip. Driving is our game, so hop on board the bus. Visit rtcsouthernnevada.com for more information.
It is a 3-1 lead for the Salt Lake Bees. We hit at the bottom of the 5th inning. Eric Stoltz. This is a recovery inning for him. He worked shutout ball through 3 and was hit hard in the 4th inning. A single by Tommy Murphy, the triple by Kendry Morales, which scored Murphy and tied the game. Although, as I said, 51s had Morales out at third base, but Willie Ibar unable to handle the throw from the outfield. And then Nick Gorneau ripped one past a diving James Loney down the first base line into the right field corner for a double, knocking in Morales to make it 2-1. And after Mike Napoli's ground out got Gorneau to third, Brian Speck singled to center to drive in Gorneau to make it 3-1. And Stoltz worked out a further damage. Salt Lake has left 4 men on base, and the 51s so far have left 5 men on base. And a very difficult inning in the 5th for the 51s. They were hitting the ball hard, but they could not get anything done against left-hander Joe Saunders, and mostly because of the fact that the 51s hit into a double play. with John Weber at first base and nobody out. And Wilson Valdez hit the ball hard, but the second baseman Speck was breaking to his right, and that happened to be right where Valdez hit the ball. And that was especially tough. The pitcher's ball won to Reggie Willits here in the bottom of the fifth, 1-0. Because Martin doubled to left, then Willie Arbor hit a line shot to left, caught by Gorneau chest high to finish the inning. There's a high foul to the right, back out of play. 1-1. So for the 51s, the good news in the top of the fifth inning, they hit the ball harder in that inning than in any other inning against Joe Saunders, either here or in Las Vegas. But the bad news is they hit the ball at people for the most part. 1 ball and 1 strike to Willits, who has struck out and grounded out to third, and a nice play by Ibar in the third. The pitch, he runs up to bunt, takes a cutter for a strike, belt high on the inside corner. Nice pitch. 1-2. More scores on the Tony Roma's scoreboard. In the eighth inning in Atlanta, the Rockies and Braves are tied at 4. Brad Hopp and Matt Holliday have homered for the Rockies. Holliday has hit 2 to give him 6. Hopp has 8 now. The pitch is low to Willits, 2-2. Sixth inning, Houston 7, Milwaukee 3. Billy Hall and J.J. Hardy with home runs for the Brewers. Despite the fact that they're trailing 7-3, Hall has 7 homers now. Here's a 2-2 to Reggie Willits. Breaking ball low. Hard curveball missed downstairs. It is 3-2. At the end of 1 in Phoenix, the Dodgers lead Arizona 2-0 behind Derek Lowe. Andre Ethier is due to lead off the Dodgers second for his first major league at bat. 3-2 pitch. Willits takes a call, third strike on the outside corner. Willits, not believing the call, looks straight up at the sky and makes a right turn toward the dugout. Second strikeout for Stoltz. 1 out. Willits is 0 for 3, and he's been both of Stoltz's strikeout victims. There's Murphy, who's grounded out to third, and he opened up that fourth inning rally with a clean single to center field. The Reds got a run in the ninth inning and beat St. Louis 3-2. Reds playing well. Murphy trying to bunt his way on, and he rolled it foul outside third, strike 1. Coffey got the win over Brian Falkenberg, the ex-Las Vegas reliever, who was pitching very well at Memphis and got called up to the Cardinals. Juan Encarnacion hit a solo home run for the Cardinals, his 4th, and the Reds, with home runs by Adam Dunn, number 10, and Edwin Encarnacion, no relation to Juan, hit his 4th. Pirates beat the Cubs at Wrigley 8-0. A 5-hitter for Zach Duke, his second win. Guzman the loser. Breaking ball low to Murphy, 1-1. Jeremy Burnett hit his 6th home run for the Pirates. And more scores coming up in a moment. 1 ball and 1 strike to Murphy. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Salt Lake. Stoltz deals. Slow curve grounded foul to the far end of the third base dugout. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Las Vegas 51's baseball brought to you in part by Carl's Jr. with 25 convenient locations throughout southern Nevada. 1-2. Stoltz turns, delivers. Fastball low and inside below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. San Diego beat the Giants 5-3, but Barry Bonds did hit his 4th home of the year, and number 712 of his career, leaving him 2 behind the Babe. Pedro Feliz also homered for the Giants. Mike Cameron hit one for San Diego. Pitches a called strike to Murphy in the outside corner. He's out of there. 3 strikeouts for Stoltz, 2 in this inning, both looking. Murphy 1 for 3, and the batter's Kendry Morales, who has walked and tripled in a run and scored in that 3-run 4th. For the Padres, Woody Williams got his 2nd win. He beat Matt Morris, Trevor Hoffman his 4th save. That's the final on the Phillies beat the Marlins 7-5. We'll have some details on that game coming up in a little while. Washington beat the Mets at Shea 6-2. Fastball tied and Morales ball 1. Mike O'Connor, in his 2nd big league start, got the win. He's 1-1. He beat John Maine, who was picked up from Baltimore in a trade. He's 0-1. As a line drive on the right field line by Morales, slicing in the corner, foul by a few feet, and Delwyn Young goes over to pick it up. 1-1 to count. Alfonso Soriano homered for Washington, his 8th. Jackson hit his 1st for the Nationals. Mets had home runs by Carlos Beltran, number 5, and Paul LaDuca, his 2nd. They only had 3 hits. 2 of them were those solo home runs. 1-1 pitch to Morales. Fastball high off the glove of Martin at the backstop. It's 2-1. We'll check some American League scores in just a little while. Next half inning. The Dodger game in Arizona. Orlando Hernandez, El Duque, pitching for the Diamondbacks against Derek Lowe. Change up and away. It is now 3 balls and 1 strike to Kendry Morales. 3-1 Salt Lake in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the next one, as a slow bouncer to the right of the plate, picking it up is Martin, and he tosses it to first base in time, but the first base umpire is saying foul ball. Russell Martin is saying, well, what are you doing making the call? The plate umpire didn't say it was a foul ball. Now Steve Yeager comes running out, pointing to where the ball was, and is talking to the plate umpire and saying, hey, wait a second, that's your call. The ball doesn't get to first base. That's your call, is what Yeager is saying. I can't see from here what the plate umpire is saying to Yeager, but it's very unusual for the first base umpire to make a fair or foul call on a ball hit halfway between home plate and first base. Generally, that's the call of the home plate umpire, but the first base umpire made the call saying it was a foul ball. The two umpires have a brief conversation near first base. Now the plate umpire's walking back to home plate with his mask in his right hand, and Yeager is saying, okay, what did he say? The call is going to stand, and Yeager now wants to talk to the first base umpire, who's standing about 20 feet behind the bag with his arms folded. The ball was trickled maybe 15 feet up the first baseline, and it was fair. I mean, it was clearly at least 2 feet fair. And I don't know, maybe the first base umpire saw it hit Morales' foot, but generally the home plate umpire is going to make a call like that, and he did not make a fair or foul call. He simply let the play happen. Martin picked the ball up and threw to Loney, and Morales was out, but the first base umpire from about 80 feet away decided it was a foul ball, and that's what has Steve Yeager, that's what ruffled his feathers right now. Yeager still talking to the first base ump. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Kendry Morales, and apparently that foul ball call is going to stand. Yeager, thoroughly disgusted, turns and begins to walk away. Now says something over his shoulder again at the first base ump. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Yeager says something to the plate umpire right now. The two men walking side by side, and now Yeager is heading back to the third base dugout. And Kendry Morales is going to see at least one more pitch. The crowd is getting on Yeager, but it's very unusual for anyone but the plate umpire to make a call, fair or foul, on a ball hit that close to home plate. 3-2 pitch, and he swings and misses and strikes out anyway. So Stoltz gets an extra strikeout, and he strikes out the side in the 5th inning. At the end of 5, Salt Lake 3 to 51's 1.
Who has free time? We're all taking care of too much at work and too much at home. We're attached to our cell phones and internet 24 hours a day. Aren't these conveniences meant to make life a little bit more, convenient? They don't. They just give us more time to squeeze in a little more responsibility every single day. Your Country Insurance and Financial Services agent knows you only have time for straightforward answers to your auto, home, and life insurance questions. That's why when you call with a question or problem, you won't have to press 4 or 5 numbers to get a real person. Even if your agent is unavailable, you'll speak to someone at Country's 24-hour service center, so you can use your free time a little more productively. Because let's face it, you don't have time to deal with insurance issues, but we have all the time you need. Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is our country.
See the Country Insurance and Financial Services agent near you, or visit countryfinancial.com.
Dear 3-day weekend. Sometimes you're right there on the calendar, and sometimes you have to make your own. With a few friends and the crisp, clean taste you can only find in Budweiser. Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back again, friends. At the end of 5, to the strains of Elton John's Crocodile Rock. The Salt Lake Bees leading 3-1. They won the opener here 7-4 yesterday. By the way, Andre Ethier in his first Major League at-bat flied out to left facing Orlando Hernandez. And it is a 1-0 lead for the Dodgers. Oh, wait a minute. The Dodgers now lead 5-0. They just got 3 runs in the second. And they did get 2 in the first, so it has gone from 2-0 to 5-0 against Orlando Hernandez in Phoenix. Odalis Perez is pitching this game for the Dodgers. Here is Joel Guzman to lead it off against Saunders. Fastball is low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes is the count. So Guzman is grounded to short and is flied out to deep left. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Saunders. And Guzman, a major rip and a miss. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Delwyn Young is on deck, and James Loney, the middle of the Las Vegas order here in the top half of the 6th inning. Guzman takes a fastball a little inside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. And let's check. Let's see. The Dodgers got a Garcia Parra triple. And we'll piece this together for you here. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Guzman chases a high fastball and misses it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kenny Lofton, 2 RBIs. Garcia Parra 1 with his triple. J.D. Drew and Deanna Navarro have the other RBIs so far. And we'll get more details as we move forward. The Yankee-Red Sox game was rained out in Boston. The pitch is inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now Saunders with a sign from Ryan Buddy. Into the motion, and the left-hander's payoff pitch coming. A fastball inside, ball 4. Guzman draws the 3rd walk issued by Saunders, and the tying run will step to the plate in the person of Delwyn Young, who homered last night, and today has grounded to first and grounded out to short against Joe Saunders. Check from American League scores. We did look at the National League earlier, as we'll move forward as far as the Tony Romo scoreboard is concerned. Delwyn Young in the batter's box. L.A. native waiting on Joe Saunders. Guzman, not a big lead at first. Right side of the infield wide open, and Young tries to pull the inside pitch, and he comes away empty. Strike 1. First baseman Napoli holding Guzman on. And because of the double play possibility, Specht at second is pinching toward the bag. 0-1. Outfield playing Young pretty deep. 1 strike to count. The stretch here by Saunders. He glances at first base, and the pitch. Change up and away. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Bottom of the 8th inning, Texas leads at Tampa Bay 6-4. DeRosa, Mensch, and Wilkerson have all homered for Texas. Damon Hollins is homered for the Devil Rays. Young swings and fouls it off the mask of catcher Ryan Buddy. 1-2. 8th inning in Minnesota, the Twins 4, Seattle 1. Final score, Cleveland at home beat the White Sox 7-1. C.C. Sabathia, the St. Louis, got his first win over Mark Burley. The White Sox had 1 run on 11 hits. Travis Hafner homered for Cleveland, his 9th. 1-2. Oakland beat the Angels 10-3. The pitch is high. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Delwyn Young. Brad Halsey got the win for the Athletics over John Lackey. Oakland had home runs by Bobby Crosby, his 3rd. Eric Chavez, his 10th. Vladimir Guerrero hit number 7 for the Angels. The 2-2 pitch to Delwyn Young. A line drive in the center. Here comes Willits to make the catch. And back to first goes Guzman. And the 51s keep hitting rocket after rocket after rocket at people. And there is 1 out of the batter, James Loney. Man, here's Loney. He has singled and walked. In Detroit, the Tigers beat Kansas City 4-1. Mike Maroth got his 4th win over Mark Redmond. Todd Jones, his 5th save. Craig Monroe, his 7th home run. And Brandon Inge hit his 5th home run of the year for Detroit in Comerica Park. 3-1 Salt Lake here in the 6th. 51s had a lot of hard hit balls. Have been grabbed by Salt Lake Leather so far in this one. Top of the 6th. And here's Loney with Chris Truby out on deck. Saunders looks at first. Guzman does not have a big lead. And the pitch. as a liner toward left center, and what do you know? It falls in for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Willits. Pedaling to third base is Guzman as the throw goes to second to keep Loney at first base. And the 51s have runners at the corners with one out, and Chris Truby coming up. So Loney is now 2 for 2. 51s have been, pardon the expression, buzzing around the bases in this game with at least one man on in every inning, but they only have one run on the 7 hits. And so they once again will try to get the big hit, which has been elusive thus far for the most part in this game. The one run came on a Sergio Garcia home run in the third. Truby has hit the ball pretty well twice. He sent Murphy back to the wall in right field for his fly ball in the second and flat out down the left field line in the fourth. 0 for 2. Saunders collects the sign from Ryan Buddy. And here's his pitch. Fastball popped up behind the plate. Let's see if Buddy has a play. He throws the mask away. He's got a play, and he makes the catch. And there's a titanic out for the Salt Lake Bees. 2 down. Once again, 51s cannot get the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. And the batter, Sergio Garcia, who was homered and flat out to center. So now it's up to Garcia. Here in the 6th inning, at least. In Baltimore, the Orioles beat Toronto 9-2. Chris Benson got his 4th win over Jansen. Todd Williams got his first save for the Orioles, who had home runs by Ramon Hernandez, Miguel Tejada, and outfielder Jay Gibbons. 2 on, 2 out. Guzman at third, Loney at first. And Saunders comes to the plate. Fastball grounded to second. To his right is Speck. It goes off his glove in the center field. And Guzman scores. Loney at second base. And it is now 3-2 in favor of Salt Lake, as Garcia's ground ball to the right of Speck goes off of his glove. And the battle will be John Weber now. So the 51 catch a break here. Ball was fairly well hit, but Speck was there. He was pinching toward the bag, and he will pick up the error. E4. Guzman scores. And the 51s cash in the leadoff walk. Loney, the tying run, is now at second base. That is the first error for either team in this game. And a right-hander gets up in the Salt Lake bullpen. Here's Weber. He's popped to short and lined a single to left in the 5th inning. Was taken off the bases on the Wilson Valdez double play ball. Slow curve is a little low, maybe ball 1. Good pitch. Some of the fans not too pleased with that call. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Marcus Gwynn, former Sacramento River Cat, throwing in the Salt Lake bullpen. 1-0 pitch to Weber. Fastball. He checks his swing, takes a strike near the outside corner. It is now 1-1. Mentioned the Yankees and Red Sox rained out at Fenway. It was supposed to be Sean Chacon against Josh Beckett, 2 pitchers with almost identical figures, 3-1, with ERAs right around 4.5, but they'll have to play that another day. 1-1 the count. Loney at second, and Sergio Garcia, the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Fastball to strike, throw back to second base, and it goes off of the runner Loney, rolling into shallow right. Loney is hurt, and the ball is picked up by Eric Ibar, and here comes trainer Tony Cordova and manager Steve Yeager after time is called to check on Loney. Loney got way off the bag, not sure why, with 2 outs, and the throw from Buddy, who's got a good arm, went down toward Ibar, and Loney was trying to dive back to the bag, and I'm not sure where the ball hit him. It might have been either on the back or in the rib cage. But Loney, with time called, is on his back just to the left of second base. One of the umpires is there blocking my view, so I can't tell exactly what Cordova is checking. He and Yeager are there checking on James Loney. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to John Weber. Now Loney gets up, and he is trying to walk off the effects of wherever that ball smacked him. It was not anywhere up high. It wasn't in the head or anything like that. Somewhere on the body, but it definitely wasn't on the leg either, because he wouldn't have been shaken up that way. I think it was either on the back or maybe in the rib cage. And he's walking around in a little semicircle behind second base. Yeager is backpedaling toward the coaching box. And Cordova is there with Loney. And Loney is still walking around. And apparently he has convinced Tony Cordova and Steve Yeager that he's good to continue, although he's clearly still in some pain. 3-2 Salt Lake in the top of the 6th. Yankees and Red Sox with that washout at Fenway. The game has been rescheduled for August 18th as part of a day-night doubleheader, according to the Crack PR staff here in Salt Lake. That's great. They're going to play the second game between the two teams in August. Oh, you know how that goes. 1-2 to count to Weber. Now we're ready to resume. Loney at second, Garcia at first, and the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice save by Buddy. And Weber holding up his hand to tell everybody to stay put. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. In the inning, Guzman walked. Delwyn Young hit one right on the money, but lined out to the center fielder, Reggie Willis. Loney singled to right center, getting Guzman to third. Truby fouled out to the catcher, Buddy. Garcia's ground ball went off the glove of second baseman Speck. That scored Guzman and got Loney to second. 2-2 to Weber. Saunders delivers. Breaking ball, a swing and a miss, strike 3. He threw a slow curve, and Weber was badly fooled. The inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Salt Lake 3 to 51-2.
Bob, are you still awake?
I can't breathe.
What's wrong?
It's my dog, Patterson.
Oh, Bob.
Are you one of the millions like Bob who suffer from chronic sinus congestion? Now there's help from Carl's Jr. The new jalapeno burger is piled high with extra strength jalapeno peppers.
Put this in your mouth, Bob.
All right.
Jalapenos contain capsaicin, a chemical that creates a burning sensation so intense it clears congested mucous membrane fast.
I can breathe again.
Oh, Bob.
The new jalapeno burger at Carl's Jr. with pepper jack cheese and spicy Santa Fe sauce. Available in single, double, and for those really tough colds. Extra strength Angus beef $6 burger. The previous claims are completely bogus. For a limited time at participating restaurants.
I've never seen a lineup quite like this one. The kitchen is loaded. The placemats are set. The bowls are on the table. He sees his granola crunch. He grabs the door. He swings. It's Anderson Dairy Milk all the way. Nothing makes breakfast taste better than milk. Over cereal with eggs, toast, and jam. Or add some chocolate and shake things up. Here's our pitch. Milk. It's a real team player. From Anderson Dairy, the dairy expert.
Welcome back, friends. We're here in Salt Lake again, bottom of the 6th inning. Interesting game going. Salt Lake with 3 runs in the 4th, leading 3-2. Eric Stoltz has been terrific except for that 4th inning, but he struck out the side in the 5th, and he's been generally decent, but that 4th inning was a real problem for him, and there were no cheapies. All 5 hits were hit very well by the Salt Lake Bees. A very efficient offense. In terms of pitching, Las Vegas is second in the league coming into tonight with an ERA at 3.07, which is great considering where they play their home games. Nashville at 2.96 is the leader. Salt Lake is fourth at 3.61. So, as I mentioned several times, these are 2 very good AAA clubs. Here's Nick Gorneau. Pitches low, ball 1. Nick Gorneau has popped out to right and has grounded out to second. 0 for 2. Nick Gorneau's flat out to center and doubled in a run and scored. I beg your pardon. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him, and he takes it low. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Salt Lake. Las Vegas, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Stoltz with a sign from Russell Martin, the 2-0 pitch. He swings and misses at a good changeup. He was way out in front with a big hack. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. So it's Gorneau, Napoli, and Brian Specht. 2 righties and a switch hitter in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And a slow breaking ball. That's a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. We'll have the General Motors trivia question coming up, and we'll look at this date in baseball history as well. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, a fly ball to right. And Young going back on the ball back. It's over his head. It goes off the fence on 1 hop. Young cradles it, turns and fires it back in. It is a double for Nick Gorneau once again. Gorneau, who doubled inside first to knock in Kendry Morales for the tie-breaking run in the 4th, goes the other way. That ball was hit harder than it at first appeared, and the ball kept carrying and sailed over Young's head. So a leadoff double by Nick Gorneau, who's now 2 for 3. And the batter's Mike Napoli, each side with 7 hits. Here's Napoli. who has popped out to right and grounded out to second. The 51s come in at the corners. The stretch by Eric Stoltz. And there's a line drive in the left center for a base hit. That's in the gap going between Guzman and Weber. Rolling to the warning track. Gorno scores. Napoli pulls in at second base with a double, back-to-back doubles for the Salt Lake Bees, and they lead 4-2. Napoli gets his first hit of the night. He homered last night. And now a big RBI double. And that's 8 hits for Salt Lake, and the Jackets begin to come off in the Las Vegas bullpen. Here comes pitching coach Ken Howell. And the batter is Brian Specht, who is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and 1 RBI. For Mike Napoli, his 6th double and his 10th run batted in on the season. And the Bees now lead 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Wait a minute. Listen to this song here. Is that the Three's Company theme? All right. That one is a little beyond my scope. Here comes Ken Howell after the conversation is over now at the mound with Eric Stoltz and Russell Martin. A right-hander gets up in the Vegas bullpen. It looks like Justin Reed, but after I get the binoculars on him, I'll be able to say for sure, yep, that's him. Now, Howell gets back into the dugout, and Stoltz will set his sights on Brian Specht, who's been a major problem for him so far in this game with 2 well-hit singles, one of them producing a run. They're in tight at the corners. Loney at first, Ibar at third, both on the grass. And he swings away and fouls one back into one of the luxury boxes, and a nice catch by a fan. Oh, baby. Wow, there's the defensive play of the day right there. Of course, the ball was hit right at him, but he caught it on the fly. Nice play. Here's the 0-1. And Specht tries to check his swing, and Stoltz zips a fastball right by him. Thigh high in the inside corner. Strike 2. It is 0-2. 5-0 Dodgers lead the Diamondbacks in the third. Andre Ethier flat out to left in his first big league at bat. He's up now against Orlando Hernandez and just took a strike, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball's low. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brian Specht. The catcher, Ryan Buddy, who bats 8th, is on deck. 1-2. Now, convinced that Specht will not be bunting, they're back at the regular depth. Loney at first and Ibar at third. Off second base is Napoli. Here's the pitch. Change up, line to left. Guzman moves back, reaches up and makes the catch. And Napoli, who went halfway to third, goes back to second base. So the 51s have been hitting a lot of balls hard at people, and now it's Salt Lake's turn to do that. Brian Specht hit that ball hard, but he lined it pretty much right at Guzman. There's a big out for Stoltz. Napoli remains at second base with 1 out, and Specht cannot get his man over, despite hitting it hard. And here's Buddy, who has grounded out to short, and a good play by Wilson Valdez in the second, and he flat out to left in the fourth. Stoltz checks Napoli at second. Now he comes to Ryan Buddy, and the breaking ball falls in for a strike. Good pitch, 0-1. Buddy has shown a good arm behind the plate and been blocking balls in the dirt for the most part. But he's only hitting 133. 2 of his hits are home runs, though, and he's knocked in 7 runs. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Andre Ethier just struck out swinging against Orlando Hernandez, so he's 0 for 2 in his Major League debut. And he's making his Major League debut in his hometown, by the way, in Phoenix, where the Dodgers are playing. 0-2, the pitch to Buddy. Breaking ball low and inside. A nice save there by Russell Martin. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Stoltz taking extra time between pitches. Maybe getting a little winded here. Everything's been hit hard off him. The double by Gorno opening up things to right. The double by Napoli. And then the line drive to left by Specht. 1-2 to Ryan Buddy with Adam Pavkovich on deck. Stoltz checks Napoli at second. He's got a medium-sized lead. Fastball's a little low. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Two and 2. Stoltz a long check of Martin. Napoli wanders off second base. The 2-2 pitch. Change up, line down the left field line. In there for extra bases. Rolling past Guzman up against the wall. In comes Napoli to score. In at second base with the third double of the inning is Ryan Buddy. It is now 5-2 Salt Lake, and that might be it. Yeah, that's going to be it for Stoltz. Here comes Steve Yeager. He left a changeup up, and Ryan Buddy, despite the very minuscule batting average of 133, gets his second double of the year and his 8th RBI with a line drive to left, which he pulls and knocks in Napoli with it. And so everything has been tagged hard in this inning, and Stoltz will be shown the exit here. So Stoltz goes 5 1/3, and the new pitcher, Justin Reed, is being summoned from the bullpen. We have a pitching change in Salt Lake in the bottom of the 6th. 2 runs in, 1 man on with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. 5-2 Salt Lake. Back with more right after this.
Brace yourself and your General Motors vehicle for summer with a visit to the excellent GM Goodwrench Service Department at Desert Pontiac GMC Buick. Desert Pontiac GMC Buick's factory-trained air conditioning specialist will check your condenser and coolant level, adjust your drive belts, inspect your clamps and hoses, check Freon, test your system pressure, and check for leaks. Take no chances. Come see your GM Goodwrench Service Center, Desert Pontiac GMC Buick in the Valley Auto Mall at 330 North Gibson Road in Henderson. It's good to know it's Goodwrench.
You like that? That's the sound of speed waiting to be unleashed. You can get the same feeling with Cox High-Speed Internet. Currently unleashing blazing fast speeds of up to 5 megs. That's up to 90 times faster. It's no wonder Cox High-Speed Internet was ranked highest in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. So you think you're ready for Cox High-Speed Internet? Get it today for as low as $29.99 a month. Call 933-9854. That's 933-9854. For J.D. Power and Associates award information, go to jdpower.com. Limited time introductory offer. Prescription supplies. Call for details.
Do you play golf? Would you like to play 3 different courses all in one beautiful location and still have money left over to play again the next day? Then Golf Summerlin is the place for you. Come play Highland Falls, Palm Valley, and Eagle Crest. All 3 courses will keep you coming back for more. Golf Summerlin is also a great choice for your next tournament or group outing. For more information, call 254-7010. That's 254-7010. Golf Summerlin. 3 great courses, all open to the public, all very affordable.
Back again in Salt Lake, bottom of the 6th. The Salt Lake Bees were leading 3-2, but had scored 2 runs to drive Eric Stoltz from the mound. And they now lead 5-2. They have 9 hits. And the new pitcher, righty Justin Reed, inherits a runner at second base. That's Ryan Buddy, whose double just drove in Mike Napoli to make it a 5-2 game. And he'll face the number 9 hitter, Adam Pavkovich, to begin. Justin Reed, tall righty, 6'5", 210, from Loomis, California. He'll be 29 next month. He was at AAA Indianapolis last year, where he was 7-5 with a 5.82 ERA. Reed this year has posted a 1-1 record in 8 games before tonight with a 5.73 earned run average. And the pitch. Breaking ball bounces away from Martin all the way to the edge of the third base dugout. And Buddy goes over to third base on a wild pitch charged to Justin Reed. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So the 51s once again will pull the infield in. Pavkovich facing Stoltz has grounded out to second. And on an 0-2 pitch, he singled to right in the 4th inning. 1 ball and no strikes to Pavkovich. Eric Ibar on deck. Reed set. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball. That's a strike to the knees. It's now 1-1. Reed's last outing was a few nights ago against Colorado Springs. He went 1 2/3 scoreless and hitless innings. And he pitched once against Salt Lake in Caspen Field back on April 11th. Fastball's low, 2-1. And that game he won an inning in 2/3 and allowed 1 unearned run on 3 hits. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. 2 balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting Adam Pavkovich. Buddy at third base, 1 out. Infield in tight for the 51s. Breaking ball, it's strike, and now it's 2-2. So Reed throwing the breaking ball for strikes to Pavkovich, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eric Ibar getting loose in the on-deck area. Reed check signs. 2-2 stretch. And the pitch. He checked his swing on a breaking ball, or did he? And the plate umpire says he went around, strike 3. Pavkovich gestures toward the first base umpire as if to say, why don't you ask for help? Well, the plate-up makes the call himself. And Pavkovich is out on strikes. So Reed comes in and strikes out Pavkovich. 2 outs. The infield can back up now. And the batter, Eric Ibar, has grounded to second. Flat out to right and popped out to third against Stoltz. Now he bats left-handed for the first time tonight against Reed. And the fastball's low, ball 1. 1-0 to count. General Motors trivia question. In terms of switch hitters, who are the top 2 home run hitters in Major League Baseball history for switch hitters? The top 2, if you please. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Eric Ibar. I'll have the answer coming up in a little bit. Top 2 switch-hitting home run hitters of all time. 1-0 to count. The outfield shallow for Ibar, and they play him the other way toward left. Curveball, a strike, good pitch. Overhand curve fell in nicely on the outside part of the plate. Ibar hitting .297. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reed, in relief of Eric Stoltz, delivers. Fastball low and inside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to count. Gentle breeze blowing out to left field. The lights here have taken full effect. Buddy at third base, 2 outs. Reed set. Here's the 2-1 pitch. He shows bunt on a breaking ball and takes it low. 3 balls and 1 strike is the count. It's only the second time this season that Reed has come into a game with a man on base. He generally comes in to start an inning. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Fastball is outside, ball 4. So Ibar draws the walk to put runners at the corners with 2 outs. And the batter is a fleet-footed center fielder, Reggie Willits, who, like Ibar, is a switch hitter and will bat left-handed for the first time in this game. 5-2 Salt Lake in the bottom of the 6th. And here comes Willits. Willits against Stoltz, struck out in the first, grounded out to third, and a nice play by Willie Ibar in the third, and struck out looking in the 5th. And Willits climbs in. Reed out of a stretch. And now he steps off toward third, throws to first base, and back in there is Ibar. Ibar was breaking for second, and Reed nearly picked him off. Ibar broke. Reed stepped off toward third, wheeled around. Ibar put the brakes on and scrambled back quickly, and Reed's throw was a little late to James Loney. The stretch again. And a throw to first, and Ibar dives back in. Ibar leads the team with 7 steals, although he has been caught 6 times. Ibar last year at Arkansas stole 49 bases, but was caught 23 times. Again, not a great ratio, but he's aggressive, and so is manager Brian Harper. He bluffs going on a fastball that's low and inside. Ball 1, 1-0. A righty's up in the Salt Lake pen. Earlier it was Marcus Gwynn, who then sat down. And it is Marcus Gwynn for a second time, loosening up. The 1-0 look by Reed. Now he steps off toward third and looks at first again. This time Ibar much closer to the base and no throw. One ball and no strikes. Reed staring in hard at Russell Martin. Big righty wearing number 55 nods yes. Brings his hands together at the belt. Ibar goes. The pitch is a strike. Martin will not forge a throw. And at second base is Ibar head first with a stolen base, his 8th of the year. Ibar had a great jump. And with a runner at third base, Ryan Buddy, Martin was not going to risk a throw. He had virtually no chance to get him anyway. The count is a ball and a strike, meanwhile, to Reggie Willits. So a base hit now could give the Salt Lake team a 7-2 lead. Lines right, base hit to right center. 1 run is in. Here comes Ibar, and Delwyn Young's throw home is way off target. And so it is now a 7-2 lead for Salt Lake. Young had no chance at the plate anyway. Buddy scoring easily from third base, and Ibar's just simply too fast. Off with the crack of the bat, he scores. Reggie Willits, a 2-run single. That first run, the run scored by Buddy, is charged to Eric Stoltz. The Ibar run, of course, is charged to Justin Reed, who walked Ibar, and Ibar then stole second. And here's Tommy Murphy, who's grounded out to third, single and scored and struck out looking. So now, Salt Lake trying to run away and hide. They were ahead 3-2. They have rolled a 4 to lead 7-2. Fastball strike 0-1. Even without Howie Kendrick, this is a very efficient Salt Lake offense. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch coming. And it's low. Throw to first by Martin on a bounce, and it gets past Loney, and racing to second base is Willits. Ball is picked up by Garcia, who does not make a throw, and so Willits is safe, and it should be a throwing error on Russell Martin. One ball and one strike is the count on Tommy Murphy. One thing about the asset of speed, and it is a throwing error on Martin, by the way, boy, it can just rattle an offense, a defense, I should say, time after time. And the Bees did it last night. They stole 6 bases off William Juarez last night. The pitch is inside 2-1. The stat sheet will say that the stolen bases came against catcher Edwin Bellarine, but Bellarine could have been equipped with the latest military technology, and he could not have gunned down any of those men, because they all had great jumps. Here's the 2-1, and the pitch is high, 3-1. Today, well, the fourth inning, the 3-run rally had nothing to do with base stealing. It was just good Salt Lake hitting. Solid hitting. 5 hits, all hit well. And in this inning, everything has been hit well. Here's the 3-1. Murphy hits a base hit to left field on the ground. Willits being waved in by Harper. Here he comes. The throw by Guzman. He is going to be safe. The ball gets away from Martin and from Reed. Down to second base goes Murphy. It is now 8-2 Salt Lake. So, Willits, who got to second base on Russell Martin's throwing error when Martin tried to pick him off first and the ball was in the dirt and kicked off Loney's glove in his shallow right, scores on Murphy's single. Murphy 2 for 4. That's 11 hits for Salt Lake, and they're now trying to run away and make a laugher out of it. At second base is Murphy. He took second in the throw home. The throw skipped by Martin. Reed was trying to back up, but he was late backing up, and the ball went to the backstop. Fastball is a strike, 0-1. Morales has walked, tripled in a run, and scored and struck out. This has never, ever been an easy place for Las Vegas to win. Even when Salt Lake has had off years, it's been tough. Time has called. Martin's going to visit with Reed. The run that just scored is, for the moment, unearned, but that's a tiny consequence of the 51. They trail 8-2. The first error made by Las Vegas in the game. And Morales, who is, as I said, 1 for 2, waiting with an 0-1 count. So Murphy at second base. And Reed gets set, looks at him, and now steps off and looks him back to the base. Morales, who is up now, is the 9th man to bat in this marathon inning. 5 runs have scored, and most of them have scored with 2 outs. The pitch is outside ball 1-1. Reed came in, 1 run scored after he struck out Adam Pavkovich when he walked Ibar, who stole second, and Willits actually singled in 2 runs. Then Murphy singled in Willits. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Now Reed's pitch. And there's a fly ball to deep left center. Racing back is Weber. He's not going to get it. The ball bounces and goes up against the wall. Here comes Murphy to score. In at second base with a double is Morales. It is now 9-2 in favor of the Salt Lake Bees. Six runs have scored in the 6th inning. 4 of them have scored with 2 outs. Ken Howell is walking out to visit with a shell-shocked Justin Reed, and a left-hander gets up in the Las Vegas bullpen. It looks like Justin Simmons. And we'll take this moment now to tell you about Country Insurance and Financial Services. They are a proud sponsor of the Las Vegas 51s. And they are where you'll always talk to real people with real answers real quick. 51s don't have any quick answers here. They lost here 7-4 in a weird ball game yesterday. And here they got their best look at a game in the top of this inning, the 6th, when they got an unearned run to make it 3-2 and come to it in 1 run. But now the Bees are running away and hiding. They are leading 9-2. They've got 12 hits. And the last 3 men off Justin Reed have hit safely following the walk to Ibar. And here's the man who began the inning, Nick Gorneau. He lines one foul to the right into the second deck. Strike one, 0-1. (0-1) the count. Gorneau in this game is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. There's a pop-up on the right side. First baseman James Loney wants it. He's on the dirt, backing up a step or two to make the one-handed catch, and the inning is now over. But 10 men bat, and 6 of them score on 6 hits, including 1, 2, 3, 4 doubles. There was 1 error, 1 man left. After 6, Salt Lake 9, and the Las Vegas 51s have 2.
Dear Vice President of Keeping Track of Me, when the day ends, we'll all be getting together to the signature taste of Budweiser and to laugh at all things corporate. Come on, it'll be fun. Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
There was a time when kids played in the park on the way home from school, when folks held hands on evening strolls, and neighbors often became your very best friends. Once there was a time, now there is a place. Providence Master Planned Community. From the old-fashioned ballparks to lively paseos and bustling neighborhoods, this is where great traditions live again. Providence. North I-215 at Wallapai. Learn more at providencelv.com. An equal housing opportunity.
18 holes of lush green fairways await you. The grass is greener and the rates are golden at Mountain Falls Golf Club in Pahrump. The 7,082 par 72 Parkland-style golf course offers breathtaking views of the mountains and the refreshing feeling of wide-open spaces. Mountain Falls Golf Club 18-hole rates start at just $35. Please call 775-537-6553 for your next tee time or online at mountainfalls.com.
Welcome back, friends, to Salt Lake City. We're now going to the 7th inning, and Salt Lake at one point trailing 1-0, then leading 3-1 and 3-2. Now lead 9-2 over the 51s. And the Las Vegas 51s will come in now and try to get something going against the new pitcher, right-hander Marcus Quinn. Other changes. Reggie Willits, who began the game in center field, is not in center field now. We're going to get these changes for you as soon as we possibly can. The new center fielder is Anderson Rosario. And we'll see about the other change in a moment. The new pitcher, Marcus Quinn, delivers to Wilson Valdez. A fastball for a strike, 0-1. So starter Joe Saunders goes 6 innings for Salt Lake. He is charged with 2 runs, 1 of them earned on 7 hits. He allowed a home run to Sergio Garcia. That was the earned run. Here's the 0-1 to Valdez. And he hits a slow bouncer to the right of the plate, off the mound quickly to pick it up as Gwynn. He turns, throws to first base, and just gets him. Close play, but Valdez out by maybe half a step. 1 gone. And the batter is Russell Martin. Saunders in his 6 innings of work. 3 walks. And he struck out 2 batters in his 6 innings of work. Reggie Willits goes from center field to left field. Anderson Rosario is the new center fielder. And Tommy Murphy remains in right. I believe they have done that. Let's see. Here's the pitch, meanwhile, to Martin. And he swings and misses, and it's 0-1. 9-2 Salt Lake in the top of the 7th inning. Here's the strike one to Russell Martin, and it's outside with a fastball, 1-1. So Valdez grounding out is now 1 for 3 with a walk. Martin at the plate now has a single and a double in 3 at-bats. The new pitcher, Marcus Gwynn, has no record in 7 games, a 4.63 ERA. And Martin hits a fly ball to right center. Moving over is the right fielder to make the catch. That is Nick Gorneau. There are 2 outs. So, a little shell game going on here, being played by the manager, Brian Harper, as Nick Gorneau started the game in left field and is now in right field. Reggie Willits moved from center field to left field, where he is now. And Anderson Rosario goes in the center. So the odd man out is Tommy Murphy, the right fielder who's out of the game. So put Rosario in Murphy's spot as a foul ball off to the left back out of play by Ibar. Strike one. Ibar 0 for 3, lined out to left in the 5th against Saunders, but now batting left-handed against the righty Marcus Gwynn. Oh and 1. 9-2 Salt Lake. And the pitch. Ibar takes a fastball inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Ibar 356. Marcus Gwynn was a River Cat for a while last year. He was in 34 games for them, going 2-2 at a 5.66 ERA. And spent some time at Double-A Midland also in the Oakland system. There's a ground ball to the right side, and it's backhanded by Napoli, who tosses it to Gwynn, covering in time for the out to complete the inning. Fine play by Napoli, going way to his right to backhand that ball. Ibar's out 3-1, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch in Salt Lake. The score, Bees 9, 51s 2.
Nearly 60 years ago, St. Rose Dominican Hospital's mission of compassionate health care for every patient began in Henderson. And this summer, St. Rose will carry this mission to Southwest Las Vegas with the opening of their 3rd location, the San Martin campus. When open, San Martin will be more than a building. It will be a haven for the mind, body, and spirit. It will be more than quality emergency and cardiac care. It will be peace of mind. It will be more than 4 floors of all private patient rooms. It will be a place healing will call home. After all, they're building more than a new hospital. They're building a place for you and your family to find safety, peace, and well-being. The St. Rose Dominican Hospital San Martin campus, 8220 Warm Springs Road, near the intersection of I-215 and Durango Road in southwest Las Vegas. St. Rose Dominican Hospital's new San Martin campus. It's all about life. Visit strrosehospitals.org to learn more.
Take me out to the ball game, or the grocery store, or work, or the Strip, with convenient public transportation from your RTC. Like MAP, Southern Nevada's environmentally friendly transit alternative, or CAT, the Citizens Area Transit covering all of Southern Nevada, and the Deuce, a double-decker experience covering the Strip. Driving is our game, so hop on board the bus. Visit rtcsouthernnevada.com for more information.
7th inning stretch, and not too big of a crowd here in Salt Lake this evening, despite the fact that they've got a first-place club playing a first-place club. And it's a gorgeous night here, but we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and it's a 9-2 lead for the Bees, who cracked open a close game by scoring 6 in the 6th. The numbers for Eric Stoltz: he goes 5 1/3 and gives up 6 runs, all earned on 9 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 4. So following his 7 sparkling innings at home over Colorado Springs, not giving up a run, Stoltz has pushed around a little bit more in this game against a very efficient offense. Justin Reed relieved him in the 6th inning and was charged with the last 3 runs of that inning. And he will face Mike Napoli to start things off. And Brian Specht is on deck. Fastball is high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. This date in baseball history, sponsored by Esurance. We'll get to that in just a moment now, as Napoli, who has an RBI double in 3 at-bats and a run scored, waits on Justin Reed, who makes his big wind-up and a big leg kick, and here he comes. Breaking ball is swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. This date in baseball history in 1954. Stan was the man. Cardinal great Stan Musial became the first man to hit 5 home runs in one day. He hit 3 home runs in a Cardinals 10-6 win over the New York Giants and hit two more home runs in the second game of the doubleheader that day. The pitch is a swing and a foul tip into Martin's glove, 1-2. Among those in attendance, 8-year-old Nate Colbert. It's kind of an ironic twist to the story, at least a coincidence, who in 1972 would become the second player to hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader. 1-2 pitch, and there's a ground ball to third, 2 hops for Ibar. He's got it, zeroes in on Loney, and throws out Mike Napoli. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. 9-2, Salt Lake with the advantage here. This date in baseball history sponsored by Esurance, your online auto insurance company, your grand slam for savings. Quote, buy, print instantly at Esurance. Here's Brian Specht. Left-handers up in the Salt Lake pen for the moment, and the 51's bullpen is quiet for now. The 51's had a lefty throwing, and he has since sat down. And Reed going to work now on Specht, who is 2 for 3 with a run batted in. He swings, sends a high fly ball to center. Weber backing up, but he's got to play. Drifting back some more and makes the catch. 2 down. And the batter's going to be Ryan Buddy, the catcher. Chad Billingsley versus Steve Shell tomorrow, also at 5:30 Las Vegas time, 6:30 here in Salt Lake, 5:15 for the pregame show. Again, I want to send our thanks along to shortstop Wilson Valdez for taking time to join us in the pregame show today. Off to a terrific start. Here's Buddy hitting just 161. Here's the pitch from Reed, and there's a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Buddy, though, was right in the middle of that 6-run sixth. His double to left drove in Mike Napoli and also drove Eric Stoltz from the game. 0-1. And Reed with a big windup coming back. And he checked his swing and fouled it back, and the count is now 0-2. 2 strikes to count on Ryan Buddy. Buddy and Napoli, the 2 catchers on this club. And they haven't featured too much at the plate. If you look at last year's numbers, they haven't done a lot this year either, for the most part, but they're very good defensive catchers. They'll shut down your running game pretty fast. The pitch misses, and Ryan Buddy will step out of the box with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 9 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. For Salt Lake, 51's 2 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. And Reed checking sides with Martin. And back he comes with a 1-2 pitch to Ryan Buddy. Way high to the backstop. Hello. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Martin had no shot to even get a glove on that ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. We'll have the answer to the General Motors trivia question coming up in just a little bit also. As Buddy in there with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And Reed back with a windup, and here he comes. There's a ground ball to short. Valdez has this one and fires on the first base there in plenty of time. So Reed recovers and works a 1-2-3 7th inning at the end of 7 in Salt Lake. B's 9, 51-2.
At Supercuts, we pride ourselves on listening to our customers, but there are exceptions. So what are we thinking today, Todd?
Let's shave it, except leave the words Todd Rules in the back. You know, in hair.
I don't think so.
All right. But hey, all my friends pay like $100 for their haircuts, so would it be okay if I did the same?
Yeah, that's not really Supercuts policy.
Oh, I got one. This side leave long, the other side bald. We can call it the 2 sides of Todd.
Saving men from themselves. Supercuts. We know how it is.
Man, I like you. What's your name?
Fox Sports Radio, 1460.
You're a miracle.
KNO Las Vegas.
Oh, Bob, are you still awake?
I can't breathe.
What's wrong?
It's my dog's sinuses.
Oh, Bob.
Are you one of the millions like Bob who suffer from chronic sinus congestion? Now there's help from Carl's Jr. The new jalapeno burger is piled high with extra-strength jalapeno peppers.
Put this in your mouth, Bob.
All right.
Jalapenos contain capsaicin, a chemical that creates a burning sensation so intense it clears congested mucous membrane fast.
I can breathe again.
Oh, Bob.
The new jalapeno burger at Carl's Jr. with pepper jack cheese and spicy Santa Fe sauce. Available in single, double, and for those really tough colds. Extra strength Angus beef $6 burger. The previous claims are completely bogus. For a limited time at participating restaurants.
Back once again, here's Van Morrison. Does Brown-Eyed Girl. Top of the 8th inning, 9-2. The Salt Lake Bees on top here. And the Bees dip into the bullpen once again. They had already used Marcus Gwynn to work a perfect 7th inning relief to starter Joe Saunders. And now they go to the pen once again. And the Bees will go to number 38, Nathan Bland. Bland, who is 31 years old, out of Birmingham, Alabama, has had time with a couple of big league organizations. Last year, though, after not hooking on with anybody in the big leagues, he pitched in Mexico, in Tijuana. And now he gets a job with the Angels AAA team here, and he'll face the middle of the Vegas order: Joel Guzman, Delwin Young, and then James Loney. So one perfect inning for Marcus Gwynn in relief of Joe Saunders, and zeros across the board for him. And now Bland takes over. Bland has no record in 2 games. He has gone 3 2/3 scoreless innings, walking 1, no strikeouts. Classic finesse-type left-hander. And speaking of left-handers, there's one throwing in the Las Vegas bullpen now. Here's the pitch. And Guzman tried to hold up on a pitch that was inside a breaking ball, and he went around. Strike 1, 0-1. Justin Simmons throwing for the second time in the Vegas pen. 0-1 is the count. The General Motors trivia question from a little bit earlier. Here's the strike 1 pitch to Guzman, and he lines one to center for a base hit. Rosario over to scoop it up and play it back in, and Guzman is now 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. For Las Vegas, their 8th hit, and here's Young, who's grounded out twice and lined out to center. Trivia question: name the top 2 switch hitters in terms of home runs all time in Major League Baseball. The answer, of course, Mickey Mantle, who leads all switch hitters with 536, and Eddie Murray, second on the list with 504. Fastball fouled off the mask of Ryan Buddy, and the mask comes off. 1 strike to Delwin Young. The leading active hitter in terms of switch hitters for home runs is Chipper Jones, of course, of the Braves. And then Reggie Smith way up there. Chili Davis tends to get forgotten when you talk about power-hitting switch hitters, but he hit a bunch. 1 strike to count. Ruben Sierra, another one. There's a swing and a miss. And Delwin Young down 2 strikes now, with James Loney due next. Guzman at first base, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, and Salt Lake leading 9-2. It's a close game early. 51s led 1-0 into the bottom of the 4th when the Bees got 3 off Eric Stoltz to lead 3-1. Fastball tie, 1-2. And the 51s got a run in the 6th inning, and it looked like a tough game for them because they had kept hitting the balls hard that were corralled by the Salt Lake defense. They were at times making good plays and at times just plain fortunate. The ball was hit at them. Young badly misses a changeup. Oh boy, he missed that by a foot. Strike 3. 1 on, 1 out, and the batter is James Loney, who has singled twice and walked. He's having a perfect night, and he'll face Nate Bland for the first time. But then the 51s, who did have a good look at the ball game as late as the middle of the 6th inning, down by just a run, then saw the Bees erupt for 6 runs as they sent 10 men to the plate, knocking out Eric Stoltz and jumping on Justin Reed, who then did work at 1-2-3 7th, but by then the damage had been done. Here's Loney. Fastball's low, ball 1. 1 ball to no strikes. So 9-2 Bees. You talk about switch hitters. That's one of the things that makes this Salt Lake lineup so tough. Because it's not like you can go lefty-righty with different matchups out of the bullpen and it'll necessarily matter all that much when you've got as many switch hitters and good ones as they have. The pitch, he checked his swing on a low breaking ball, and it's 2-0. Eric Ibar, Reggie Willits, Tommy Murphy, Brian Specht, Kendry Morales, all switch hitters. And they can all handle the bat very well. 2 balls and no strikes on Loney. They're not bothering to hold Guzman on at first base in the 8th inning of a 7-run game. Fastball is in for a strike, 2-1 to Loney. So, the Bees are now a little more than an inning away from taking the first 2 games of the series and evening up the season series with the 51s. Loney now takes low and outside. It's 3-1. And Chris Truby is on deck. 51s did win 3 out of 4 against this club in Las Vegas, but Salt Lake taking yesterday's contest 7-4 and leading this one handily 9-2 with 2 games at hand. 3-1 pitch. Loney looks at the strike. It's 3-2. A full count to Loney. Bland, a glance at first base. Guzman, short lead there. Here's the 3-2 kick in the pitch. Fly ball to center. Moving to his right is Rosario. Now he comes in to make the catch. And that's the second out of the inning. Fading back to first base is Guzman. As Loney is retired for the first time and Chris Truby comes up.
Number 28, Chris Truby.
Truby has fly to right, fly to left, and fouled out to the catcher in the sixth inning. So, likely we will find out either after this game is over or sometime tomorrow what move will be made to replace Andre Ethier on the roster. The pitch is low, ball one. 51's your short one-position player. Ethier making his big league debut as we speak in Phoenix. Against the Diamondbacks. Here's the 1-0 to Truby. He takes one low and inside, ball two. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Simmons has finished loosening up in the bullpen, and it's likely that he will pitch the bottom of the eighth inning. Justin Reed has gone an inning and 2/3, and he's thrown a lot of pitches, so it looks like Simmons will come in. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Truby hits a grumble down the third baseline, and it's fair. Pavkovich can't get it. The ball bounds down toward the bullpen area, or it's picked up by Willits. He fires it back into third base. By that time, Guzman is safely at third base, and it's a stand-up double by Chris Truby, and Sergio Garcia will come up.
Now that is the second baseman, number 26, Sergio Garcia.
Garcia has homered, flat out, and reached on an error, 1 for 3. Truby gets his first hit of the series. So the 51s with 9 hits, and that's their second hit off Bland here in the eighth. Garcia trying to take a bite out of the B's lead if he can get a base hit. And Bland from a full windup delivers. And as a bouncer foul off his foot, and Garcia will be a little bit late for the dance. That one got him, I think, right on the instep. 1 strike to count. Ball rolled up the third baseline. 0-1 to count. They're playing the kind of organ music here that normally is reserved for the home team when they are batting. Want to give the organist a workout, I guess. 0-1 to count. Garcia giving opposing pitchers a workout. He's hitting .370, even though he's really known more for his defense. At third base is Guzman, Truby away from second. And the windup by Bland. Here's his 0-1 pitch. And it's low and inside, smothered there by Ryan Buddy. 1-1 to count. One and one. Bland reads the signs of Ryan Buddy. Still checking. Now rocks to the motion, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Ground ball fouled outside third. He was jammed on a breaking ball in on his hand. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Salt Lake had a lot of success here. To look at their 1-loss record since this ballpark opened in 1994. But win, lose, or whatever, they've always been tough at home. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Garcia takes up and away, 2-2. And prospect-wise, 51s are putting the best team out there that they really have had since the Las Vegas franchise became a Dodger affiliate after the 2000 season, going into 01. But still, Salt Lake playing them tough here in Salt Lake, and that's always been the case. There's a changeup missing a little bit high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. If Garcia gets on, John Weber will be next. Second and third, 2 down. Top of the eighth, 9-2, Salt Lake leading it. And Bland with a 3-2. Here it comes. Fastball, high ball 4. So that's not exactly what the Bees had in mind, to have Bland come in and walk a man to fill the bases. Weber, who is 1 for 3 with a single, will come up now. He struck out on a breaking ball in the 6th. His last time up facing starter Joe Saunders. So the bases are loaded with 2 down. And Wilson Valdez comes out on deck. And Weber waiting as Bland goes to the motion to pitch. A breaking ball a little outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. So Guzman's at third, Truby at second. Now Garcia's at first base. And Weber digs back in, hitting just .224, but he's a better hitter than that. He hit way over .300 last year at Double-A Jacksonville. and he takes a fastball up and in. It's 2-0. So now Bland appears to be laboring after walking Garcia, something that everybody knows he did not want to do. He's now fallen behind Weber 2-0. And Bland comes back. The pitch. Fastball way up and in. So now Bland suddenly is all over the place. 3 balls and no strikes. Nobody throwing yet in the Salt Lake pen. They do still have a comfortable lead here in the 8th inning of 7 runs. But now he's fallen behind Weber 3-0. And Weber absolutely taking on this pitch, and he takes a called strike, and now it's 3-1. He might be taking again. 3-1 to count. Guzman off third, Truby the runner at second base, and Garcia at first. Bland winds and delivers 3-1. Weber takes it way high and inside, ball 4. And the very last thing that Brian Harper wanted was to see somebody come in and start walking people with a big lead here. That walk forces in Guzman. The score is now 9-3 Salt Lake. And Charles Nagy, former pitcher for Cleveland and Boston, now going out to visit with Nate Bland, who has issued back-to-back walks to force in a run here in the 8th inning. Guzman in to score. Truby goes to third. Garcia to second. And Weber drawing that walk with the bases loaded to get his 7th RBI the easy way. When play resumes, Wilson Valdez will be up. Valdez in this game has walked and been caught stealing, singled, grounded into a double play, and then hit back to the box. The paid attendance 3285 here this evening for Game 2 of this series. All right, Nagy back in the dugout. Again, the Salt Lake bullpen's quiet. They want Bland to get out of this. So Valdez 1 for 3 in this one. Waiting. The windup and the pitch to him. He takes a cutter for a strike somewhere near the inside corner. Valdez didn't like the call, and he will relax for a moment. 0-1. Bland continues to work out of a windup with the bases loaded. Here's the 0-1. And it's popped up right behind home plate. Buddy throws the mask away. He's got a lot of room, and he makes the catch. And that's the inning. 51s lead the bases loaded to get a run on 2 hits, lead 3. We hit to the bottom of the 8th inning. Salt Lake 9 and the 51s 3.
Dear Mr. H2O, it's time for us to become reacquainted. Time to dive into every day and every cooler, filled with the signature taste of Budweiser. Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Call 383-0383 to place your artisan classified ad, where you can buy and sell most anything through the artisan classified ad. Well, now there's TV, bicycles, and stereo too. From antiques to zebras, the classifieds are here for you. Call 383-0383 to place your artisan classified ad. 0383. 383-0383. If you've got a or a book that you want to sell, or your need retail, you'd like a or a book, or maybe a or sell a home again. Drop it up the phone and let the artisan work for you. Call 383-0383 to place your artisan classified at 0383. 383-0383.
Welcome back, friends. We're here in Salt Lake City, bottom of the 8th inning, and the Salt Lake Bees are 3 outs away from making it 2 straight over Las Vegas and getting a measure of revenge for what the 51s did to them in Las Vegas when the season was first getting underway. It is a 9-3 lead for them. And so, Justin Simmons, just as we suspected, will take over now in the bottom of the 8th inning for Justin Reed. Reed goes an inning and 2/3 in relief of Eric Stoltz and is charged with 3 runs, and the runs are all earned on a total of 3 base hits. And Reed, while in there, collected 1 strikeout and issued 1 walk. And now Simmons facing Adam Pavkovich, who swings and misses at a breaking ball, 0-1. Simmons, no record in 7 games, a 7.45 earned run average. So Stoltz, Reed, and now Simmons. Pavkovich in this game has a single in 3 at-bats. And Simmons delivers. And the slow breaking ball is in low. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. The Dodgers have opened up a 6-1 lead in Phoenix at Chase Field in the bottom of the 5th inning now. Odalis Perez trying for the win there. Sean Green, the ex-Dodger, has homered for the Diamondbacks, his 2nd of the year. There's a drive hit to deep left, and Guzman has it go over his head and up against the wall. Guzman jogging after it at the warning track. To second base goes Pavkovich, and he'll stop there as the throw comes back in. I don't know if Guzman lost that ball in the lights or what, but it was clear from up here that the ball was going deep, and Guzman froze as if he had no idea where the ball was until it was going over his head. It is a double for Pavkovich. So here's Eric Ibar, 0 for 3 with a walk, a steal, and a run scored. And Pavkovich has the 13th hit for the Salt Lake Bees in this ball game. And Simmons gets set. His pitch. And a fastball dips in low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Well, the Salt Lake Bees, very efficient offense, is going to get a major challenge tomorrow when Chad Billingsley takes them out for the 51. Should be interesting. There's a swing and a miss. And the count is now ball and a strike. Billingsley coming off a near no-hitter. He took a no-hitter into the 8th inning against Colorado Springs in his last start and ended up throwing 8 scoreless innings, giving up just 1 hit. There's a ground ball foul outside third. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brian Harper picks that one up and lobs it into the crowd. And it goes off the hands of a couple of fans who are trying to get it. And the ball ends up on the warning track. And the fans here not too happy with that poor defensive effort. And Eric Langell picks the ball up and flips it about 3 rows deep. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Ibar hits a ground ball to deep short. Backhanded by Valdez. He throws to third base. And tagged out is Adam Pavkovich. 1 out. It's a fielder's choice that goes 6-5. Rather ill-advised base running there by Pavkovich. The cardinal rule is you're the runner at second base and you're not forced. In other words, there's nobody at first base to force you to go on a ground ball. You hold up on a ball hit in front of you like that so you don't get thrown out. But under the circumstances, I doubt that Pavkovich will get levied any kind of a fine because they still own a 6-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 out, Ibar at first, and the pitch is low to Reggie Willits, ball 1. Willits has a 2-run single and a run scored in 4 at-bats. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Looking ahead to the Vegas 9th inning as Simmons deals up and away, ball 2. They have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up against Nate Bland. Martin, Ibar, and Guzman. Talking with Brian Harper, the Salt Lake manager, before the game. Here, the 2-0 pitch to Willits, and it's slow. Ball 3, 3-0. Remember back when the Dodgers played the St. Louis Cardinals for the right to go to the World Series in 1985? The National League Championship Series that year was decided as a strike to Milt Willits, the count 3-1. That famous Jack Clark home run off Tom Niedenfuer? Well, Brian Harper was with the St. Louis Cardinals at that time. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Reggie Willits, and he takes high ball 4. Now you have 2 on with 1 out, first and second, and the batter is Anderson Rosario, who will get his first at bat. He's finishing up in center field now in this game. And Rosario does not have an at bat since he came up from the lower minors. He's played 2 games defensively, so this is his first at bat. That whole debate that took place after Jack Clark hit the game-winning home run off of Tom Niedenfuer in the 9th inning, and I was there in the right field seats to see that. And there was a whole debate. Should they have walked Jack Clark? Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss. 0-1 to Anderson Rosario. 9-3 Salt Lake here as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 on and 1 out. And the Cardinals had basically emptied their bench. They had one right-handed hitter left on the bench. That right-handed hitter was Brian Harper. The pitch is in the dirt. Nice save there by Martin. And they count 1-1. And the debate at the time was, should the Dodgers and manager Tom Lasorda have let Niedenfuer pitch to Clark, which of course turned out to be a disaster for the Dodgers as Clark hit a monstrous home run halfway up the bleachers in left field. And I can still see Pedro Guerrero playing left field, throwing his glove up in the air in disgust when the ball was hit. There's a 1-1 pitch to Rosario. And it nearly hit him way inside. He has to spin out of the way, 2-1. But the debate was, if you walk Jack Clark intentionally, the on-deck hitter was the left-handed hitting Andy Van Slyke. The Dodgers had a lefty in the bullpen, Jerry Royce, normally a starter, but he was warmed up and ready to come in. There's a 2-1. A ground ball to third base. Ibar's got it. Double clutches, throws to second for one. That's all they're going to get. The double clutch probably cost the 51s a double play. It is a forced play instead. 5-4, 2 outs. Ibar goes to third. That's Eric, where he can chat with his brother for a moment. And the batter is Kendry Morales, who is 2 for 3 with a double and a triple, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Now, had Tommy Lasorda elected to walk Jack Clark, the Dodgers were leading, by the way, at the time, and brought in Jerry Royce to face Andy Van Slyke, then Whitey Herzog would have been faced with a decision. Change-up swung on a miss, 0-1. And I asked Brian Harper today, I said, do you think Whitey Herzog would have sent you, a right-handed hitter, up to hit for Andy Van Slyke, a lefty, in the event that lefty Jerry Royce would have been called in? He said, he already told me. He said, if they bring in Royce, you're going to hit for Van Slyke. The 0-1 pitch is low, 1-1. And he said that he was warming up down the runway in the dugout at Dodger Stadium. And so all of a sudden he got word from the dugout. His teammates said, hey, they're pitching to Clark. They're not going to walk him. So he went running down to the front of the dugout to watch. And just as he reached daylight, Clark hit the home run. Ground ball to second. Garcia has it, feeds Valdez for the force out. That goes 4-6, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the 9th inning. Salt Lake leads the 51s 9-3.
IntelliBed is proud to be a sponsor of the Las Vegas 51s. With the 21st century breakthrough called IntelliGel, IntelliBed is able to provide a level and quality of sleep that is unlike any other. Mention that you're a 51 fan, and you'll receive $400 in free accessories with any mattress purchase. Visit any one of 3 Las Vegas area IntelliBed stores in Summerlin, Henderson, or Green Valley, or find them online at IntelliBed.com.
Planning on vacationing with a family on a road trip? Let the outstanding GM Goodwrench Service Department at Desert GMC Buick help you to get out of town, not into trouble. Desert GMC Buick has been rated #1 in customer service satisfaction in Nevada with the latest diagnostic equipment, GM-certified technicians, and genuine GM parts. So be sure your car is ready for that out-of-town trip. Come visit your GM Goodwrench Service Center, Desert GMC Buick at 6400 West Sahara in Las Vegas. Great service is something to be thankful for, and you'll find it at Desert GMC Buick.
You like that? That's the sound of speed waiting to be unleashed. You can get the same feeling with Cox High-Speed Internet. Currently unleashing blazing fast speeds of up to 5 megs. That's up to 90 times faster. It's no wonder Cox High-Speed Internet was ranked highest in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. So you think you're ready for Cox High-Speed Internet? Get it today for as low as $29.99 a month. Call 933-9854. That's 933-9854. For J.D. Power and Associates award information, go to jdpower.com. Limited time introductory offer. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Welcome back again, friends. We're here in the top of the 9th inning, and it's a 9-3 lead for the Salt Lake Bees as it looked to go up 2-0 in the series. Don't forget, in the post-game show, we'll update you on the big league scores with the Tony Roma scoreboard. Also look at the Pacific Coast League scores. Nate Bland worked the 8th inning, but he was really shaky. He allowed 2 hits and 2 walks and a run, and he faces Russell Martin now. And Martin swings at the first pitch and grounds it fouled outside third, strike 1, 0-1. 9-3 Salt Lake. We're talking about Brian Harper's near role in the Cardinal-Dodger NLCS, the deciding game at Dodger Stadium. Jack Clark hitting that home run off Tom Niedenfuer. The pitch is low, 1-1. And what Harper told me today was that, Jack Clark was never a showboat. He was never one to show up the other team. But he was so happy when he hit the home run off Niedenfuer. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And the changeup is up and away, 2-1. The Cardinal dugout was at first base. The Dodger dugout was at third base. And when he hit the ball, he ran down the far end of the first base dugout, and he looked into his own dugout and said, "Hey, boys, we're going to the World Series," right before he ran the bases. The pitch is a strike. 2-2 to Russell Martin. Willie Ibar waits his turn on deck. And Nate Bland always a soft tosser. Time is called. Russell Martin will step out of there. I was talking with T.J. Knoll today on the bus on the way over to the ballpark. Knoll was just called up from Jacksonville, where he was a reliever, and he relieved yesterday in his first Triple-A game of this year. He's with the 51s most of last year. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Russell Martin. And it's a ground ball up the middle. Second baseman Speck moves over, and the ball kicks off his glove, where it's picked up by Ibar, who has no play. And we'll see how they score that one. Martin safe at first, and Willie Ibar comes up. Speck going to his right to try to backhand it, and could not pick it up cleanly. And so it'll go as an infield hit for Russell Martin. That's what the scoreboard indicates right now. So Martin has 3 hits today. And the batter, Willie Ibar. 9-3 Salt Lake, top of the 9th inning. Ibar 0 for 4. And the pitch. Ground ball foul up the third base side, strike 1. One of the pitches that T.J. Knoll is experimenting with right now is a knuckleball. Maybe the trickiest pitch of all for any pitcher to learn. It's such a rare pitch and a delicate pitch, the ultimate feel pitch. That's one reason why of all the pitchers in the Hall of Fame, only 2 of them were knuckleballers, Hoyt Wilhelm and Phil Niekro. 1 strike to count to Ibar, who digs back in. Martin off first the pitch, and it's taken low. 1 ball and 1 strike. And very few active knuckleballers right now, but Knoll has been working with it, and he told me he didn't throw it yesterday, but he might be breaking it out one of these days. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A high fly to deep left down the line, curving foul. Into the corner goes Willits, but he's out of room. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Chicago White Sox had a run of knuckleballers. You mentioned Wilhelm, who was with Baltimore at one time, and had finished his career with the Atlanta Braves. But he spent a chunk of his career with the White Sox, who also had, of course, Wilbur Wood, one of the only left-handed knuckleballers. And they had Eddie Fisher, also a lefty. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside 2-2. Eddie Fisher, a knuckleballer, but a right-hander. And, throughout the course of baseball history, just very few of those guys. Here's the 2-2 stretch. And the pitch from Nate Bland. And Ibar swings and misses and strikes out. So a long night for Ibar, 0 for 5. Second strikeout for Bland. 1-on-1 out for Guzman, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. And also has a single, and he's scored twice. He singled center off Bland in the 8th. Delwyn Young will come out on deck. 9-3 Bs, 1-on-1 out in the 9th. But, when the subject comes up of what's the most difficult job in baseball, a couple of things generally come up. Closing, if you're a relief pitcher, is one of them. You're facing, the opposing team's good hitters, sometimes pinch hitters with a game on the line, late in the game, close game. There's a strike, 0-1 to Guzman. And pinch hitting is a very tough thing because you're coming off the bench cold, often against the other team's top pitchers. Never easy. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Guzman. And the pitch high, 1-1. But I don't know, if I had to pick one player who might have had the single toughest job in the history of baseball just for one season, it might be Rick Farrell, who was the catcher for the 1945 Washington Senators. There's a 1-1 pitch to Guzman. He takes high, 2-1. Why was his job so tough? The 1945 Washington Senators were the only team in baseball history that had all knuckleball pitchers in their starting rotation. All of them. 2-1. You talk about a guy who just went diving and ditching that whole year. There's a bomb to left field by Guzman. Forget it. It's a question of how far. It takes one bounce off the concession stand. A monstrous home run by Joel Guzman, and it's now 9-5 in favor of Salt Lake. And again, they're playing the happy organ music here. The organist must be from Las Vegas. It is 9-5 Salt Lake. Joel Guzman just lost it. 6 home runs for Guzman. RBIs 22 and 23, and the batter's Delwyn Young, and a lefty gets up in the Salt Lake bullpen just in case. And here comes Charles Nagy to visit with Nate Bland. Oh, did he crush that thing? That cleared the berm and took one hop off that concession stand right near the walkway between picnic tables out there. Oh, man, did he blackjack that pitch. On that home run, Bank of America donates $50 to the Special Olympics as part of the Dingers for Dollars program. Second home run of the night for the 51s. Sergio Garcia hit one off starter Joe Saunders way back in the third. Delwyn Young is 0 for 4. Nagy has finished his talk with Bland, and, they want to give Bland a little work here. He just recently joined the team, and with a fairly big lead, they figure they can stretch him out and get through and save the rest of the bullpen. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, the Dodgers ahead 6-0. That lead is now gone. The pitch is low. The Diamondbacks, partially on a Chad Tracy home run, have scored 6 times in the 5th inning, and they're still batting. It's a 6-6 game. Young hits a line drive base hit to right, and guess what? This game is not over. Gorneau brings it back in. Young is now 1 for 5. There's still just one out, and the batter's James Loney. It's 3 hits in the inning for the Las Vegas 51s, and 12 hits in a game. And here's Loney, who is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a walk. Lefty versus lefty. Bland got Loney to fly out to center in the 8th inning, and now he faces him with 1 out and 1 out in the 9th. Here comes Brian Harper. He's going to yank Nate Bland right now. Bland clearly not happy with this. He just turned his back on his manager, and now he's looking straight down. They've got a lefty throwing in the bullpen, and Harper is going to undoubtedly have the hook with him because this is the second trip Nagy went out there. And so we've got a pitching change in Salt Lake. 9th inning, 51's trying to make a late run. They trail 9-5 with 1 on and 1 out. Back with more action right after this.
Hi, friends. If you're in the market for a General Motors vehicle, there's only one place to shop in Las Vegas. That's Bill Hurd Chevrolet. They are the world's largest Chevy retailer, and they feature an excellent body shop and parts and service as well. I have a vintage Chevy sitting in my garage right now, and I don't take it to anyone but Bill Hurd Chevrolet. They're at 444 South Decatur at Alta. Telephone 870-9444. Bill Hurd Chevrolet. Visit their website, www.billhurdvegas.com.
18 holes of lush green fairways await you. The grass is greener and the rates are golden at Mountain Falls Golf Club in Pahrump. The 7,082 par 72 Parkland-style golf course offers breathtaking views of the mountains and the refreshing feeling of wide-open spaces. Mountain Falls Golf Club 18-hole rates start at just $35. Please call 775-537-6553 for your next tee time or online at mountainfalls.com.
Hey, Nick, didn't we just cut your hair yesterday?
Yeah. Remember when you said my Supercuts haircut would help me get noticed by women?
Uh-huh.
It worked a little too well.
You are my Swoopy Whoopsie.
Sweetie, I'd like to introduce you to my Supercut stylist, Tina. Tina, this is Barbara.
Brenda, hey. And I'm so excited to meet the woman who makes my special guy look so cute. I can't breathe. Supercuts is quick, right?
We're fast.
Because I can't stand to be away from my poopy kins.
Julie, please.
Supercuts. We know how it is.
Las Vegas 51's baseball on Fox Sports Radio 1460 and across the World Wide Web at www.lv51.com. Well, Brian Harper, I know, didn't want to do it, but he's got to go to his left-handed reliever, Jonathan Rowenhorst, right now to try to get things sealed up here. Nate Bland staggered his way through an inning and a third, giving up so far 3 runs. And the runner at first base, Delwyn Young, who just drove Bland off the mound with his single, belongs to him also. Rowenhorst is 6'1", 180, 26 years old, from Anaheim, and he is 1-2 in 11 games before tonight with a save and a .485 ERA. Not a safe situation. Had the tying run been on deck, it would be, but the tying run is actually in the hole, and James Loney is up. So Young at first base, 1 out, 9-5 Salt Lake, and the fastball's low and outside, ball 1. Rowenhorst's first appearance in this series. Rowenhorst, 13 innings. He has walked 6, striking out 8, and allowed a total of 12 hits. Young at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And there's a fastball in for a strike. Good pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike to James Loney. Not a lot of fans left here, but some of the fans that are down below are rather vocal. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reacting strongly to virtually every pitch, one way or the other. Fastball's outside, 2-1. Salt Lake pitcher throws a pitch a foot outside. Hey, that was a strike. 2-1 the count to Loney. Chris Truby waiting on deck. And Young at first base being held on by Napoli. 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Bees. They were trying to run away and hide with a 6-run six, and the 51's trying to make it interesting here in the 9th inning. They've got 5 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error for the game. Loney takes a pitch below the knees. It's now 3-1. Now remember, if Loney gets on, then Chris Truby will come up, and Sergio Garcia will come out on deck representing the tying run. Rowan Horst gets set. The 3-1 to James Loney. He hits a high fly ball to shallow right. That's a big out because Gorneau is going to catch this one, and he does to make it 2 down. So Loney swings at the 3-1 pitch and flies out. Now it's up to Chris Truby. Jonathan Broxton has come out of the Dodger bullpen as Odalis Perez pitched 4 scoreless innings, and the Diamondbacks have erupted for 7 runs in the 5th inning, and they're still batting. Dodgers were up 6-0, and they now trail 7-6. Here's the pitch to Truby. He hits a pop fly foul outside first. Here comes Napoli on the run, and he can't get it. It bounces in the bullpen, hops up into the seats. And it looks like a Little League team down there, and a couple of the Little Leaguers were bending over the railing near the tarpaulin to get that one. I don't know about those uniforms. It looked like the 73 Padres. Mustard and brown uniforms. 0-1 the count. I wonder if they got Dave Freisleben down there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Truby takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 9-5 Salt Lake. 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Truby has a double in 4 at-bats, facing Rowan Horst right now. Delwyn Young at first base with 2 gone. And Rowan Horst trying to seal it up. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And he swings and misses at a changeup. It's now 1-2. Truby out of the batter's box. The 1-2 stretch by Rowan Horst and the pitch. Truby checks his swing and the pitch bounces ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. If Truby gets on, Sergio Garcia will be next. 9-5. They play that buzzing sound now with the PA system here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The look by Rowan Horst and the pitch to Chris Truby. Here it comes. He tried to hold up on a low pitch, and he went way around. Strike 3, that's it. Salt Lake wins it 9-5 to take the first 2 games of the series from Las Vegas. And I'll be back with the totals right after this.
This country is who we are. This country is in our heart. For all you need, this country is here for you. This country knows what's real. They share just what I feel. They're here for you and me. This is our country.
Let's face it, insurance is confusing. If you're like most people, you have more questions than answers. So when you talk to someone at Country Insurance and Financial Services, you'll get straightforward answers and assistance. At Country, it's not just talking about service. It's about knowing the people we serve.
They're here for you and me. This is our country.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is our country.
See the Country Insurance and Financial Services agent near you or visit countryfinancial.com.
There was a time when kids played in the park on the way home from school, when folks held hands on evening strolls, and neighbors often became your very best friends. Once there was a time, now there is a place. Providence Master Planned Community. From the old-fashioned ballparks to lively paseos and bustling neighborhoods, this is where great traditions live again. Providence. North I-215 at Wallapai. Learn more at providencelv.com. An equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back, friends. We're here at Salt Lake, and the Bees complete their second consecutive victory over the 51s, 9-5, which means now for the season series, these two fairly evenly matched teams have split 6 games. 51s won 3 out of 4 from these Bees in Cashman Field, and now the Bees have won the first 2 games here. For Salt Lake to win to lift their record to 16-9. 9 runs on 13 hits and 1 error. They left 7 men on base. 51s are now at 16-10. 5 runs on 12 hits and 1 error for Las Vegas. They left 11 men on base. The winning pitcher, starter Joe Saunders, now 3-1 and 1-0 against Las Vegas. The losing pitcher, Eric Stoltz, he's now 2-2 on the season. As far as home runs are concerned, the Salt Lake Bees, despite racking up 9 runs and 13 hits, did not have a home run. Las Vegas had a solo home run by Sergio Garcia in the third against Joe Saunders. For Garcia, that was his second of the year. And then Joel Guzman hit a titanic home run over the fence in left field in the 9th inning off Nate Bland for Guzman, his 6th homer of the year. A crowd of 3,285 paid to see the game, 3 hours on the nose for the game time. And on the Tony Roma scoreboard in the Pacific Coast League, Nashville beat Iowa by a score of 9-1. It was Round Rock defeating Oklahoma 7-4. They're in the 9th inning in Memphis. New Orleans trying to break their 9-game losing streak, leading Memphis 6-2. And Albuquerque blanked Omaha 4-0 on a one-hitter by Ronaldo Pinto, who's now 3-0. Now in the 9th inning, Colorado Springs leading Tacoma 4-2. And in the 5th inning in Sacramento, the River Cats have opened up an 8-0 lead over Portland. 5th inning, Fresno 5 and Tucson 1. We'll take a break and come back and check the big league scores and recap this one from Salt Lake coming up next right after this.
Special auto insurance report for Las Vegas 51 fans.
Special agent, proceed.
When you get your fast free quote from Esurance, you can also view comparisons from other companies.
That way, how much you save at Esurance is no secret.
That's right. And with 24/7 customer service and claims handling, you can get help from people who make auto insurance feel a little less alien to you.
How can someone get their fast free quote from Esurance?
It's definitely not an undisclosed location. All you have to do is visit Esurance.com.
There was a time when kids played in the park on the way home from school, when folks held hands on evening strolls, and neighbors often became your very best friends. Once there was a time, now there is a place. Providence Master Planned Community. From the old-fashioned ballparks to lively paseos and bustling neighborhoods, this is where great traditions live again. Providence. North I-215 at Lullaby. Learn more at ProvidenceLV.com. An equal housing opportunity.
At Supercuts, we pride ourselves on listening to our customers, but there are exceptions. So what are we thinking today, Todd?
Let's shave it, except leave the words Todd Rules in the back. You know, in hair.
I don't think so.
All right. But hey, all my friends pay like $100 for their haircuts, so would it be okay if I did the same?
Yeah, that's not really Supercuts policy.
Oh, I got one. This side leave long, the other side bald. We can call it the 2 sides of Todd.
Saving men from themselves. Supercuts. We know how it is.
Las Vegas 51's postgame show from Franklin Covey Field in Salt Lake City. Tonight, Salt Lake, well, they took another step toward getting a measure of revenge over the 51s by winning 9-5. In this game, the 51s scored first in the top of the third off starter Joe Saunders when second baseman Sergio Garcia opened the inning with a line drive home run to left. Garcia's second of the year. 51s were up 1-0 at the end of 3. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Eric Stoltz, pitching for Las Vegas, had gone very nicely for the first 3 innings. But in the 4th inning, the Bees showed why they had scored the second most number of runs in the league entering tonight's play. They hit everything hard. Tommy Murphy singled and scored on a Kendry Morales triple. Morales scored then on the double right after that by Nick Gorneau inside first into the right field corner. Then Gorneau scored on a base hit by second baseman Brian Specht. And all of a sudden, very quickly, at the end of 4, the Bees led by a score of 3-1, a lead they would not relinquish. The 51s had their closest look at this game in the 6th inning when they got a run back to make it 3-2. An unearned run. Joel Guzman opened with a walk against Joe Saunders. Then 1 out later, James Loney singled to right center, and Guzman pedaled over to third base on that. After Chris Truby fouled out, Sergio Garcia hit a ground ball to the second baseman Specht, who misplayed it for an error. That scored Guzman, and the 51s at the end of 5.5 were trailing only by a score of 3-2. But in the bottom of the 6th, that's when the Bees really took off, sending 10 men to the plate. First of all, Eric Stoltz, who had struck out the side in the 5th, looked like a different pitcher in the 6th. He just ran out of gas. Back-to-back doubles by Nick Gorneau and Mike Napoli made it 4-2. Brian Speck lined out to left, but then Ryan Buddy hitting only 133 double to left. That knocked in Napoli, and all of a sudden the Bees had a second run and led 5-2. That was all for Stoltz. Justin Reed came in. He struck out Adam Pavkovich, and at that point there were 2 outs, a runner at second base. 51s were only down 5-2, and if Reed would have been able to get out one of the next couple of hitters without any more damage, the 51 still would have been in the ball game. But he walked Eric Ibar, who then stole second. Reggie Willits then singled in 2 runs. Then Tommy Murphy singled in Willits, who had reached second base on a throwing error by catcher Russell Martin. And then Kenji Morales came up and doubled to left center, knocking in Murphy, and the merry-go-round continued. 6 runs scored, and the Bees opened up a 9-2 lead. 51s took 1 run back on that in the 8th inning off Nate Bland to make it 9-3 when Guzman opened the inning with a single. 2 outs later scored on after a double by Chris Truby chased in the third base, and back-to-back walks to Sergio Garcia and John Weber forced Guzman home. Then in the 9th inning, Russell Martin singled. 1 out later, Guzman a tape measure clout over the fence in left field, and then the 51s went down against reliever Jonathan Rowenhorst, who relieved Nate Bland, and the 51s dropped this one by a score of 9-5 here in Salt Lake. So the 51s tomorrow at 5:30 Las Vegas time, 5:15 for the pregame. 5:30 first pitch will send Chad Billingsley to the mound against righty Steve Shell, one of the top pitching prospects in the Angels organization. And Billingsley coming off a masterpiece at home. 8 innings, no runs, 1 hit. He had a no-hitter into the 8th inning against the Colorado Springs Sky Sox at Cashman Field. Billingsley will be making his second start against Salt Lake. Back on April 11th, he had no decision in a game that the 51s won. 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned on 5 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 8 and allowed a home run to Dallas McPherson, who likely will be back in the lineup tomorrow. Did not play in this game with lefty Eric Stoltz going. So that's the matchup for tomorrow, and we invite you to join us then. Let's take a look now at the Tony Romo scoreboard in the big leagues. The Dodgers now, with the Diamondbacks still batting in the bottom of the 5th inning, now leading the Dodgers, who have blown a 6-0 lead, 7-6 Arizona. And Jonathan Broxton in the game to relieve Odalis Perez, and the Diamondbacks have the bases loaded with 1 out. Sean Green and Chad Tracy have homered in that ball game for the Diamondbacks. The starting pitcher was Odalis Perez for the Dodgers, and El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, for the Arizona Diamondbacks. By the way, this series in Salt Lake will wrap up the night after tomorrow. That'll be Thursday night, also at 5:30. Then the 51s will be in Colorado Springs for the second leg of this 8-game road trip. With this loss, by the way, 51's record on the road this year is now 4-6. Let's check some other scores in the big leagues. In Cincinnati, the Reds beat St. Louis 3-2. Coffey over Falkenberg. Encarnacion homered for St. Louis. That was Juan. Edwin Encarnacion, no relation, homered for the Reds, and so did Adam Dunn. At Wrigley, the Pirates blanked the Cubs 8-0. Duke over Guzman. Burnett's homered for the Pirates. It was San Diego over San Francisco 5-3. Williams over Morris. Hoffman to save. Cameron homered for San Diego. Feliz and Bonds for San Francisco for Bonds number 712. Philadelphia beat Florida 7-5. Lieber over Nolasco. Gordon to save. Rollins homered for the Phillies. Washington beat the Mets 6-2. O'Connor over Maine. Soriano and Jackson homered for Washington. LaDuca and Beltran for the Mets. In Atlanta, the Braves came back and beat the Rockies 5-4. Cormier over King. Reachman to save. Hopp and Holiday homered for Colorado. Holiday hit 2. Houston beat Milwaukee 8-5. Nieve over Sheets. Lidge to save. Hall, Miller, and Hardy all hit home runs for the Brewers. The Yankees and Red Sox in the American League were rained out. It was Minnesota over Seattle 5-1. Santana over Washburn. And Texas beat Tampa Bay 7-5. Tejeda over Hendrickson. Otska to save. DeRosa, Mensch, and Wilkerson homering for Texas. Damon Hollins for Tampa Bay. Baltimore beat Toronto 9-2. Benson over Jansen. Williams to save. Gibbons, Tejada, and Hernandez all homered for the Orioles. The Tigers at home beat Kansas City 4-1. Maroth over Redmond. Jones to save. Inns and Monroe homered for Detroit. Oakland topped the Angels in Anaheim 10-3. Halsey over Lackey. Chavez and Crosby homered for Oakland. Guerrero for the Angels. And Cleveland knocked off the White Sox at the Jake 7-1. Sabathia over Burley. Travis Hafner a home run for the Indians. I want to give thanks to my studio producer, the one and only Mitch Moss, another superb job of producing Las Vegas 51's baseball on Fox Sports Radio 1460. And thanks to all of you, very sincerely, for tuning into the 51s tonight. Until tomorrow, this is Russ Langer wishing all a very fine evening from Franklin Covey Field in Salt Lake City, Utah, where tonight the Salt Lake Bees defeated the Las Vegas 51s by a score of 9-5. Good night.